Okay, America, y'all know who it is today. It is your boy, the real Greg Kelly. Shout out to the Conservative Bear. Shout out John Smith, Backyard Politics. Shout out to America. I don't know if y'all feel this excitement. It is a beautiful time to be alive in this country, man. Oh my God. Americans standing up. Americans saying no to mask mandates. Americans saying no to vaccine mandates. Americans standing up for their constitutional rights. I'm talking about Americans. Shout out to America. Black History Month, everybody know that. And I just wanted to take this time to come up here, man, to let you know, anytime that you confront the enemy retreats. Woo, let me say that again. Every time you confront the enemy retreats. Time for the covers to be pulled back, bro. Everybody need to know the truth. Me and John Smith and the Conservative Bear yesterday, we took time to confront those that continue to talk behind our backs, continue to talk just nonsensical things about us. We took the opportunity to confront it. At this point, it is dead and gone. It should be made known who the real ones are. Woo, okay. I know y'all can't see me yet. I'm just working on a few things. Shout out to Angry Conservative. Shout out to Nana. Shout out to Stacy. We're going to have a hell of a show today. Shout out to Sugar Baby. This address in the chat. Talk to Joey today. Hope he come on. If he doesn't, he is welcome. Talk to TCB. Hope they come on. We're going to be talking about black head coaches in America. I mean, it's just, at this point, I don't even know what to say, but I have a perspective. I have an angle on it. Here I go. Woo, here I go. Y'all know it's RGKS. But yeah, we're going to talk about, in our first segment, we're going to be talking about Brian Flores. He has filed a class action lawsuit against the NFL. Talking about the disparity amongst black head coaches in America. And I mean, he may actually have a valid point. However, there are some things that need to be talked about. There are some things that people need to pay attention to. Okay. Nevertheless, how y'all doing, man? Thanks for tuning in. Once again, one of my favorite people, Nana. I appreciate it. I need a haircut, Nana. Well, I'm not going to get a haircut, but I need to do something with this bush that I got going on. Everybody can see it. It's kind of wild right now. Anyway, yours truly, I'm back in the building. Real Greg Kelly Show. Shout out to my sponsor, RGKS Studios, man. Like, they have, I mean, it's me. It's what I do. It's my own money. We just put money into this. Like, we ain't making no money, but we spending money, if that makes any sense. We want to impact the country. We want to impact Americans. We want to impact humanity. For sure. So anyway, like I said, first segment, we're going to talk about a few things. Most of it's really going to be surrounded about the NFL. Anybody that has anything they want to say, y'all know what it is. All you have to do is look at that phone number. That's right there. RGKS hotline. Please, you are welcome to come up here, give your opinion, tell us what you want to say. We can have some dialogue. Nobody's going to be banned. That is the number. Okay? I see Brooke for Bama in the building. How you doing, sis? Again, I'm not trying to start a bunch of commotion. However, it is Black History Month, and I think we should honor black coaches. I really do. I think we should honor the black head coaches in the NFL, those that have come, those who have gone. But I just think it's utterly ridiculous that it is Black History Month, and we're talking about a disparity in the NFL amongst Black head coaches, particularly Brian Flores. And we're going to get into that in this segment, this first segment here. We're going to get back into this. But before we go into that, I just want to let everybody that's here, everybody that was on the chat last night and saw the video that we did, me and Bear, we actually had the opportunity, we were granted a brief opportunity to talk with Hillbilly. And of course, he tucked tailed and ran, which is what, I mean, I ain't here to call the brother no names, but we know who tucked tail and run in the face of adversity. So let the record stand for what the record is, okay? Real men confront real issues, face to face, man to man. We don't run, we don't duck, we don't hide. The American way is that we confront our adversaries and we come strong. Welcome back, everybody, to the Real Greg Kelly Show. I will be right back. Mike is muted, but it is. Not sure why that didn't work. But anyway, I'll try it again. Let's see. Are you kidding? Why I have no sound? All right, y'all give me a minute. Y'all know me and my technical difficulties. Holy smoke. Oh, I know what happened. Okay. All right. So apparently, I had a shutdown here during the I was actually trying to get everything set up, and I had a shutdown on one of my hearing devices. So I actually need to possibly go back and reinsert the codecs. Give me a second. Let me find out. I'm gonna try to play another clip and see what happens. Let's see. Let's see. That's exactly what happened. Okay. All right. Give me a second here, y'all. I'm sorry about that. Can everybody hear me? I hope you can hear me. Yep, that's exactly what needs to happen. Let me stop that. All right. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to get into that. What I'm actually going to do is cut this off. Y'all give me a second. Let me work this out. This sucks, but don't y'all go nowhere because this is going to be epic. This is going to be epic. So just bear with me. All right, let's see. Here's one. Okay, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe y'all. Let me make sure y'all can hear this because I think I'm actually tripping. Let me do this one more time. Okay. Can y'all actually hear what's going on? This is y'all can hear me because I can hear it. Okay. Oops. All right, just making sure. Real Greg Kelly, I'm back. I don't know what happened. But anyway, let's get into this today. Let's jump right into this one. Okay, so Brian Flores, one of the former head coaches in the NFL, was with the Dolphins. He was fired. All right, he had 3 years there. Now, they were a horrible team. And he was fired at the end of this year. And they did go on a really good winning streak, but they did not make the playoffs. And Brian Flores was let go by the Miami Dolphins. Shortly after the fact, he interviewed for the head coaching job with the Denver Broncos and with the New York Football Giants. All right. Let me make sure I got this going on. And he was let go. And Bill Belichick sent him a message on accident, actually trying to reach another guy whose first name is Brian, congratulating him on the job that he just received from the New York Football Giants. And just a brief history on this, the guy that they're talking about, they brought the general manager from the Buffalo Bills over to the Giants, and the Giants also was making an attempt to bring the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills over because they did such a magnificent job with Josh Allen, who was a bust when he first came to the NFL. Now look at Josh. Josh is a fantastic quarterback, headed in the right direction, top 3 quarterback in the NFL, which means the Buffalo Bills are on a come up. So they bring these 2 gentlemen in. Brian Flores gets a text from Bill Belichick congratulating wrong Brian. Oops, made a mistake. They had already decided who they were going to hire, okay? But they continued the process. We're going to bring Brian Flores back in for his second interview. Even though we're not considering hiring him, we were, but we like this matchup here. We like this chemistry here. And he files a class action lawsuit simply because he did not get the job. Not to mention, America, he is the front runner for 2 other jobs in the NFL. 2 other jobs. Lord Jesus. So you don't celebrate the fact that he's actually up for 2 other jobs. You simply want to continue to make a bunch of noise. Okay, so we're going to talk about that, and we're going to have a little fun too. Y'all know I got some commercials. Y'all know this is the RGKS show, Real Greg Kelly. I got TCB in the back, but I need to make sure his commercial is working because, again, I had a little snafu. I made a little mistake. So I don't even want to hit this button. I really don't. But I'm hoping that it works. Okay, Bear, look, I love you. Okay, if your commercial doesn't work, brother, it's my fault. It really is my fault. I should be on point. But again, I just had a little minor snafu. The roadcaster got cut off on accident. And I think it disconnected everything that I had, going on. I'm sorry. So I'm going to try, man. If it doesn't work, I promise you I'm going to fix it. And I'm going to play it before you get an opportunity to say a word. Okay? This is the Real Greg Kelly Show. I am bringing up the one and the only. The one and the only TCB. The Conservative Bear. Please pray for a brother. Ah! It didn't work, but I'm going to fix it. I promise. I got it right here. Nope, that's not it. I promise you, I'm going to fix this, and I'm going to go back and do it again. Here we go. I got to fix all of these. Okay, here you go, Bear. Let's start over. All right, I can't bring them on like that. Here we go. TCB.
Roll that in.
That's insane.
Welcome to the show.
What's up, Gregford?
I have no idea what I'm doing. I done lost myself. I get out of this damn thing. Oh, yeah, I know how to do it. Yeah, man, I made a mistake, man. Something happened to the roadcaster. That thing cut off, and it screwed everything up in OBS. Everything. I got to go back and try to fix this. What's up, baby?
What's up, man? I got a couple of things I want to talk about Brian Flores about.
Okay.
All right. Brian Flores was a head coaching candidate for the 3-time world champion Denver Broncos at one time.
Oh, my God. Okay.
And he only had a select window that was available for John Elway and Joe Alice to fly out to, I think it was Delaware, to go meet with him. So they flew. They had you know how the coaching process is. They had a bunch of coaching processing going. They had a guy that lasted, I think it was Fangio, lasted until like midnight doing the interview process. And they had already made the decision that they were going to hire Fangio after that interview. But they, to show respect for Mr. Flores, they took a red-eye flight from DIA and flew into Delaware and still met with this brother at 7:30 in the morning.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why? Like, because look, here's the deal with me. America, listen, okay. Even in the executive world, you bring in your first candidate, you're blown away. You're like, oh, yes, God, this guy's great. But you have 6 other candidates. What, do you not interview? No, you do. Not only out of respect, because you also want to see, does anybody else have anything intangible to bring to us? Something that we can't coach, something that we don't already have. Will we find something that is so intriguing that we actually change our mind? Like, you were supposed to do this. And then they bring Flores in. The Giants bring Flores in after, they've made a decision about Brian, and they're griping and calling it the Rooney Rule, and they're calling them sham interviews. But wait a minute. What happens if they don't bring him in?
There was a Rooney Rule that I think the Broncos did one time, and it was with it was when we hired Vance Joseph. We interviewed Eric Stubbleville, which was our running backs coach at that time, to do the Rooney Rule. But then Vance Joseph came in and he blew John Elway away. Yes. I mean, I remember that press conference. He was like, I remember Elway telling him he is a man of all men. He could lead men. And I mean, it didn't turn out very well for Vance Joseph or us.
No, it did not. It did not.
And he lost his job, and we hired Fangio, which should still count as a minority because he's Italian.
I mean, it is, but the thing is, now you have to get with this because you have people like Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Max Kellerman,
Shannon Sharp, even Mike Greenberg. Like, I would have thought, out of all people, Mike Greenberg wouldn't have not gone into this. Look, let me take 1 second just for the audience here. The Danger Chronicles, I want to give a quick shout out. I see Brooke is back. Nick, what is going on, sister? I definitely want to acknowledge the angry conservative, Stacy, Taylor, Sugar Baby's in here somewhere. I think I saw her too. Hey, thank you guys for stopping by. And just so you know, the woke community in the NFL. Now, I put this in the description, but I just want to speak this out. We're going to call the NFL racist when they've changed the trajectory of hundreds of thousands of families, African-American families, minority families. It's been changed. But now, all of a sudden, after we've had a Super Bowl where there were 2 African-American head coaches, Lovey Smith, Tony Dungy. Yep. Chicago Bears versus Indianapolis. We have 2 Super Bowl winning African-American head coaches. We've had several African-American head coaches that had multiple jobs, multiple shots at it. The truth is, they were simply not that good. So we're going to look at that. Brian Flores, 3 years in Miami, not one playoff run. Granted, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that this team was horrible. Okay, Adam Gase will go down in history as the worst. And I mean the worst. At least the black head coach is not going down in NFL history as the worst head coach ever. Adam Gase is the worst head coach ever. He's the worst GM ever. He's the worst talent scout ever. And this is the team that Brian Flores took over. Well, Adam Gase only got that job because Peyton Manning was his quarterback.
I mean, yeah. I'm just saying, like, he's terrible, man. He was terrible. And I want to take a real quick minute to simply look at a list of head coaches, and this is how we're going to get into it.
How long did Marvin Lewis last in Cincinnati with 0 playoffs?
15 years. 15 years. Okay, let's look at this. This is a list of African-American head coaches since the year 2000. Let's start with none other than Herm Edwards.
He was good. He was good. Not great. He was good.
His record, 23-26 in 3 seasons.
He was 41-44.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
In his tenure, but he was replaced. My fault. I was talking about Urban Mejic. He was 41-44. That's not terrible. It's under 500. But let's be honest. Herm Edwards was an African-American coach, but the numbers say he was mediocre.
mediocre. But he had some good years in there, though, man.
He did. He did. But I just want to say for the record, America, he's a black man. Tony Dungy.
That's a Hall of Famer right there.
Hall of Fame coach. Is anybody talking about the great career that Tony Dungy had as a head coach?
In all respect, though, he did have Peyton Manning.
He did. But he didn't have Peyton Manning in Tampa Bay.
No, he didn't.
He resurrected that franchise. Brother, they were debaucherous. They were disgusting.
Because Chucky destroyed that franchise, right?
No, Chucky won the Super Bowl with him.
No, but after he won that Super Bowl, they weren't that good, though.
Oh, they were trash. All right, so Dungy was hired by Indianapolis, and after they went 6-10 before he arrived, in 7 seasons with the Colts, Dungy was 92-33. Excellent head coach.
Yeah, he wasn't
great. Fired. He retired. He won Super Bowl, Roman numeral something another.
That's 41.
He won Super Bowl 41. So let's celebrate Tony Dungy.
He was a good coach.
Can we celebrate Tony Dungy? Yes. Yes. Like one of my favorite people in the world, Tony Dungy.
He's a good man too. I've heard
I like him. I mean, I really like Tony Dungy. Just one of the good guys. You know what I'm saying? He led a team to the Super Bowl. He did his job. He did his job.
You know what I loved about Tony Dungy is he knew where he excelled at. I think he was a defensive minded coach.
He was.
The Colts defense that year was fantastic.
Yes.
And he had a young Peyton Manning, still rather young, and he got him to the Super Bowl. And he knew to step away from the offensive side and just worry about the defense. And he knew how to hire people. He knew how to arrange his coaches and staff to get the best out of his players. That's what makes a smart head coach.
He was great.
Yeah.
He was a really, really good coach, and just all in out, like John Lovett said, he was just really a good guy, man. Really good person. But again, nobody wants to talk about him. We're stuck on Brian Flores. Shall we move on? I want to get through these really fast because I have to somehow get backstage and fix all of the issues that I just created for myself. But anyway, now here's my guy. For those of you who don't know this is my dude, okay? He was a terrible head coach. Terrible. Okay. But he was one of the greatest defensive coordinators ever in the NFL. Okay. I'm a Baltimore Raven fan. Go Ravens. Real Greg Kelly show. I have to represent for Baltimore. He was one of the greatest defensive minds ever. He was simply not a head coach. He was not ready to be a head coach. He spent 15 years in Cincinnati, but he coordinated the stingiest defense in NFL history.
But even with that, though, he was given 15 years of mediocrity in Cincinnati.
15 years, y'all.
And he wasted Carson Palmer.
Yes. 15 years, America. 15 years a black man had a job in Cincinnati. In Ohio, might I mention. We don't want to get into demographics, but Max Kellerman, did you ever consider that Marvin Lewis was in Cincinnati for 15 years? Another black man with a coaching job there for 15 years. But let's look at his record since he was in
mediocre, 131, 129-3.
It's not bad. 131, 29-3. Okay, it's not bad, but look, again, it's barely above 50%. He's barely above 500. And look at Zach Taylor, and look at where they are now. Zach Taylor is is in the Super Bowl. Shout out to Marvin Lewis, my guy.
Lovey, bro, Lovey.
Lovey Smith.
You know, I like this. For some reason, I like this dude.
I did too. I really enjoyed him. I thought he was awesome. Oh, whoa. Let's back it up. Angry conservative, you don't know what in the world you talking about, bro. You were not in the top 2 every year that Marvin Lewis. I mean, I hope you're not talking about Marvin Lewis because you stunk. Y'all stunk up the joint.
He ruined Carson Palmer's career.
Carson Palmer, you would have won the Super Bowl if Carson Palmer would have stayed healthy. I believe he'd have won the Super Bowl. But after that, brother, it stunk. I mean, he was stinking up the joint from a long way away.
But he did have to deal with John Kitna too, though.
Oh yeah, Kitna junk. But in the AFC North, no, brother, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, that's been our division forever. However, Zach Taylor has turned that franchise completely around. I just wanted to set the record straight. You were not in the top two. Well, I mean, you couldn't help but be in it. I don't know if you were the top two or not in AFC. But anyway, Ravens Nation, baby. Don't disrespect. But you disrespect. All right.
I'm an AFC West kind of guy.
look, Lovey Smith was a great dude. He was a great back. And Bear, I need you to hold on and just look, take this over just for a moment.
Lovey Smith was a good head coach. He knew how to lead his men. Unfortunately, when he was in Chicago, they weren't that great of a team at that time. They did have Urlacher on the defensive side, I believe, was under Lovey Smith. It just sucks that he's one of those coaches, man, that was dealt a bad hand a few times, and it is what it is. And that's what actually kind of sucks about Lovey Smith. You have no audio. But I like Lovey. Lovey was a good dude. Lovey, he was a player's coach, Lovey Smith. He was always about taking care of. You got no audio. You got no audio. Go to your cam. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Go to your cam mic settings on your.
Should be good now.
There you go. Now you are.
Yeah, here we go. No audio. I'm audio ball. I'm audible at this point. Okay. I tell you, man, I have weird studio stuff going on all the freaking time. Okay. Like all the time. Like I have no idea. Everything works fine until I get ready to go live. And then it just wants to act stupid. I
like Lovey Smith.
He did a good job. I
think he was dealt a bad hand. He had Urlacher.
Yeah. Urlacher was good though.
No, I said he had Urlacher, and then he had who was his quarterback?
Rex Grossman.
Sexy Rexy. They used to call him.
So Smith was hired by Chicago after the Bears went 7-9. Then, going 5-11 his first season, he went 11-5. Went to the Super Bowl, got coach of the year. He was 84-66. That's better than subpar.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
Better than subpar. All right, he was replaced, and Mark Trestman was horrible.
Was horrible.
Okay, but Lovey Smith did get to a Super Bowl.
He should have never lost his job.
I agree. I think he should have kept his job. However, he had a great stint there.
He did.
And he looked good doing it. Now, this guy, Dennis Green.
Dennis Green was terrible.
Terrible. 16-32. No wonder he didn't have a job.
His replacement wasn't very good either.
Everybody that came there have been horrible. I mean, let's just keep it honest. They've all been horrible.
Except for the one that had the guy from St. Louis as the quarter. The Kurt Warner year was a good year. Well, that was that Wisenhunt?
Wisenhunt, yeah.
He still wasn't a good coach.
Yeah, Wisenhunt was a good coach, but I'm just saying, Dennis Green was terrible. Okay, I mean, there's no wonder he doesn't have a job. But again, these are black head coaches. Romeo Crennel.
This dude's garbage.
Straight trash. Okay, it doesn't matter that he's black, America. The truth is, he sucked as a head coach.
He did
get a shot. He got a shot.
He was a good defensive coordinator, though. He was a good defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator. He was a great coordinator. He's just not a leader of men.
He wasn't a head coach. But again, he had multiple opportunities, as you'll see as we get through this. I'm just so tired of the woke community in the NFL trying to say that black head coaches don't get opportunities. They don't get multiple opportunities. That's not true. Okay, that's not true. And we need to knock it off. We need to stop playing the role and being big brother servants. Stop being the thought police, y'all. This is not Orwellian's dream. George Orwell foresaw this stuff happening. We don't have to be there. Please, man, stop serving the minions of Big Brother, because black head coaches have had very good success in the NFL, and some of them have simply been no good.
This dude was trash, though.
He was really trash. He was terrible. All right, moving on. Herb Edwards again. Whoa. Didn't we just see him in a Jets uniform?
Yeah, now he was a chef. Chef.
Oh, wait a minute. You said that it's rare, Max Kellerman, it's rare that black head coaches get 2 opportunities. Didn't Tony Dungy coach Tampa Bay and then come back and coach the Indianapolis Colts and won a Super Bowl?
Yep. This dude, Herm Edwards had, I think, 3 jobs. He was with the Jets, the Chiefs, and where did he go after that? Or was it just 2?
I think it was 2.
Okay.
Then he went to Arizona. He went and played. He coached. He's still coaching the Sun Devils actually right now.
Okay, that's where I'm thinking at then.
So Edwards was the Chiefs head coach for 3 seasons, and he was 15-34. Need I say more?
He got famous because of that one play with the New York Giants, wasn't it? Where he made a tackle to save a fumble.
Yes. Art Shell.
Terrible head coach.
2-14.
He had multiple times with the Raiders. He coached multiple times with the Raiders. I think 2
right here.
times.
Yep, he did his second and final stint as head coach. But black head coaches don't get multiple job opportunities. Of course not. They're black.
Never, bro. You
Get
can't.
the hell out of here.
You're lying to me, man.
Yeah, I know. Mike Tomlin. There's a reason why Mike Tomlin still has a job, America.
Because he's a good coach.
He's the bomb. He's the bomb. I don't even want to read this. 15 straight non-losing seasons. Need I say more? Okay, he's really good. Let's move on. Mike Singletary. Horrible head coach.
Great football player. Great football player. Terrible head coach.
Hall of Fame linebacker. Okay?
85 Bears.
Hall of Shame head coach. Hall of Shame. Okay, y'all? Hall of Shame as a head coach. Okay? Let me back it up. Hall of Fame football player. Hall of Shame head coach.
85 Bears, bro.
Bad man on the football field. On the sideline with a microphone and a headset, trash. But let's just keep it real, y'all. He got an opportunity. This is Black History Month. Let's celebrate the opportunity. I mean, he just failed. It wasn't good.
This dude is trash too.
I mean, listen. His first season he was 14-2. He went to the Super Bowl. He was 28-24. But I mean, he's over 500.
Wait a minute. So are you telling me the Indianapolis Colts had back-to-back black
head coaches? They sure did.
Oh, that's the racism, bro.
Hey, Max Kellerman. Just so you know, 2 black head coaches back-to-back in Indianapolis. Indiana. Okay? Indiana. I don't know if y'all ever been to Indiana. People like me, you know, they get the shaft. 2 black head coaches in Indiana. But of course, black head coaches.
And back-to-back.
Exactly. And then they had another minority, Chuck Pagano.
Yeah, an Italian.
Okay? But there's disparity. There's racial disparity. Let's move on. Raheem Morris. Trash as a head coach. Okay? Trash.
Are you sure?
17-31 in 3 seasons. That's trash.
But he deserved a second chance, though, right?
I mean, he does. He deserves a second chance. I'm not denying that. I'm not saying it. I'm just saying with his first opportunity, he was trash. He was trash. And then, but look, he looks great as the Rams defensive coordinator.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he is murdering it.
You know, but here's the thing, man. Not all good coordinators become great coaches. Sometimes like Fangio. He's a fantastic defensive coordinator.
Oh, absolutely.
But a terrible head coach.
Terrible head coach. I'm just trying to set the stage for people that listen to ESPN and all of these sports talk radio. These hosts are lying. All right. They are playing the narrative of, you know, the woke community. They're down in that woke hole, that woke rabbit hole. And they're trying to sell to the American people that this organization is racist because there's no black ownership. Okay, as soon as there's black ownership, they'll be talking about, well, there are not black head coaches. All right, now there's not enough black head coaches, but 70%, over 75% of the athletes in the NFL are African American or otherwise they are of a minority group.
Let me hit on that, if you don't mind. Hit on that ownership situation, okay? Black owners. Do you ever think that black billionaires probably don't want to own a football team? Because here's the thing: here in Colorado, we have a multi-billionaire, and he was offered first chance to buy the Broncos by the Bolin family. Guess what, Greg?
He didn't want it.
He don't want it.
I bet he don't want it. It's a headache.
Yeah, because you have to deal with fans. You have to deal with your perspective. Wouldn't you rather just have an easy life, just chilling?
I mean, listen, a whole lot comes with running an NFL franchise and owning a franchise. It does. And maybe he doesn't want the headache. But the point is, he's a black billionaire. He has a choice about whether or not he actually wants to buy the team. And we can't say that he doesn't want to buy the team or that, he's being blackballed by white owners simply because he decided not to buy the team.
He didn't want to buy that. That's my thing. That's what I was getting with. You have black billionaires. Do you think Oprah Winfrey's trying to run off and buy a football team?
She could.
I know, but do you think she wants that headache?
I don't think so.
There's a bunch of billionaires that just don't want the headache. They don't want to deal with it.
I'm one of them. I'm a billionaire and I don't want the headache either.
Right.
Y'all didn't know that about me, but yeah, your boy, the real Greg Kelly, I'm a millionaire. I'm a billionaire.
And you don't want to own a team.
Can't y'all see the billions on me? Huh? It's sad though, and we're going to get into that too. Let's move on to the next. These are all black head coaches since 2000. Leslie Frazier.
He was so.
Leslie Frazier is now, he's the defensive coordinator for, God, who is he coordinating for?
He was a so head coach though.
Wait a minute, but he's coaching. He's coordinating the defense for the
Buffalo.
Yes.
Oh, he's killing it there, bro.
And he's killing it. They hosted the stingiest defense in the NFL this year. And he did interview for a head coach, and teams were like, well, we're not going to bring Leslie in right now. And here's the deal. Just because they don't hire him as a head coach doesn't mean they're racist. It doesn't mean that. I have a right. And what America needs to understand outside of getting caught up in this woke generation, the powers that be, again, want to find any way that they can to keep us divided and at each other's throats. And I just think that we need to be smarter than that. Because if anybody in this chat owns a business, they have a right to hire the most qualified candidate. And the most qualified candidate should have nothing to do with skin color. I don't think that these people are, being blackballed because they're black. I don't agree with it.
Let me ask you a question. If is that me? I'm getting feedback. Is that me?
Let me see. It's definitely you.
Yo. Okay. So, let me ask you a question. So if there was no Rooney Rule, I guarantee you the most qualified person would still get the job, even if you were black, white, Asian, Puerto Rican. I mean, I think we only have one Latino head coach, right? Rivera?
Yes.
Only one.
Yes. No, why is you, man, if you don't lay your retarded behind down, dog, that boy is crazy. Let me see. The Italian brother down in Philadelphia.
No, I said Latino.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Only one, Rivera.
Yeah.
And
there are no more Latinos.
Do you know what's crazy, though, is you never hear about Latinos complaining about any of this shit. Like, we're
because the Latinos aren't racist. God, like, can we please? I mean, can we please? Black America, can we please stop? I mean, why do we have to play to the music of racism? I'm not going to get into the issues that racism creates within, societies and, just the devastation that these race cards play in the demise of free loving, of free communities, free countries. Not to mention George Soros and his Open Society Foundation, because he wants open societies. He doesn't want people to be, morally sound, and actually have, laws that structure the land and equal opportunities for all people. He wants to have an open society where all the criminals get to come in and do whatever they want to do.
What's up, Joel?
Hey, Joel. Damn, Joel. Need to catch you, bro. Need to catch up with you. For sure. I've been watching your show. Need to catch up with you. And what I want to look at, man, Joe, matter of fact, brother, I wish you would come on because I know you have something good to say about this. I know you've been on it. I haven't even caught your show, but I know you've been on this because this is hog shit. Lord forgive me. I'm working on that. This is hog boo-boo. Okay? This is hog boo-boo. And I want you to understand, like, there's an agenda here. How can you call the NFL racist when they've changed the lives of hundreds of thousands of people? The base salary in the NFL is $700,000 a year.
Bro, the backup kicker makes $700,000 a year. Never gets into the game. Dude, I want to go try out for the Broncos. I'm gonna go out to Invesco. I'm gonna go try out to be the backup kicker. And I would be more than happy to ride the bench just like this.
700,000. He don't even kick the ball. He practices kicking the ball. 700,000 just for practicing kicking the football. No matter if you're black or white, Hispanic, Mexican, no matter what it is. That's the base salary, man. Like 700,000.
That's the league minimum. Let's go try out, me and you.
I don't know if I can do it, bro. I might fall out, get ready to swing, throw a leg. I might pull a muscle, a hamstring.
And then guess what? You still get paid.
I still get paid.
IR, baby.
I know, right? I forgot about IR. Let's get past Leslie Frazier. Let's see who's next on the list. Black coaches.
Hugh Jackson.
Trash.
This riding the
trash.
This
trash.
This riding the coattail of Mr. Flores' ass all up in that dude.
Just straight trash. I mean, and it's like this. I'm a black man, and if I say that this brother was trash, even though it's true, I'm an Uncle Tom. I'm a coon.
He sucked in Oakland. He sucked with Cleveland. He sucked everywhere.
Look, not to mention that this is the same guy that said that, Cleveland offered him incentive for tanking. I guess he took the money.
Yeah.
So, like, you don't get to take the money and then come back and complain and try to expose these people for paying you money, Hugh, that you took, brother.
Oh, Flores took
the money. I'm just saying, if you're going to take a stance, don't take the money. He took the money. Obviously, if it was being offered, they sucked when he was in Cleveland. Did he take the money?
Okay.
He took the money.
Okay, here we go. Let me ask you this. So here's a question. Okay, he sucked in Oakland too, right? So did you get paid in Oakland as well? Is that going to be your excuse?
I was just talking to somebody about that right there. He took the money, and so, like, did Oakland, did Davis, Bush Davis and them, not Bush Davis, but Al Davis offer him money?
And Al Davis is too cheap for that. Al Davis ain't going to pay nobody. He's all about winning.
He was trash as a head coach. So here it is. Jackson only got one season to prove his worth with the Raiders after finishing 8-8 in the season in which the team started 7-4. Who went 8-8 his final season with the team. Jackson was replaced by Dennis Allen. He sucked.
Another worthless coach.
I mean, he sucked. I mean, Dennis Allen sucked.
Oh, he did.
So, but again, he sucks everywhere he goes. So that doesn't mean that he was bought. He was just a terrible head coach.
He was.
All right. And just in case, is that guy again?
That's Romeo, bro.
Is that Romeo Crennel again?
2-time.
You mean to tell me another black head coach had 2 stints as a professional NFL head coach? Max Kellerman, you are a liar, bro. Keyshawn Johnson, y'all are liars. Jay Will, liar.
Oh, you know what it is? Romeo Crennel is white. He's
Shannon
white.
Sharp. Listen to me. Shannon Sharp, you are a liar. Y'all are lying, man. Y'all need to stop feeding lies to the African-American community, the minority communities. All right, I know your salary looks really good, but listen, you are liars. And I hope to God this video lands in one of y'all lap because y'all do not tell the truth. Y'all are part of a psychological warfare agenda, and y'all want to take black people and make them feel less than so they can stay oppressed by themselves because the people that are oppressing black people are black people.
Yeah.
I said it. It's the truth, and I meant it.
Yeah.
It's blacks that are oppressing blacks. Okay? Get that through your head, man, and stop playing games. But anyway, this guy was terrible. Let's look at his record.
Oh, you forgot one other person. Skip Bayless quit riding the fucking race coattail too, you little bitch.
Yeah, I can't mention Skip. He makes me sick.
I said it for you.
So Crennel took the reins of KC after Todd Haley was let go of. After 5-8, Crennel finished his season out the interim tag, who went 2-1 in his lone season with the Chiefs. He was 2-14. 2-14. I wonder if the Chiefs offered him money to tank. Did the Chiefs offer him money to tank? Anybody?
Oh my God! Now Ron Rivera is saying this, dude. You had a great fucking run in Carolina. Shut up.
Let's take a pause for the calls. Anybody that has anything to say, the RGKS hotline is wide open. Please feel free. The number's at the bottom of the screen, 562-542-3185. If you have anything you want to say, come in. We would love to have you here. We're moving on to the next head coach. As soon as Joey get up here, man, I have to go backstage and fix my my audio on the clips that I made. Here we go. Oh, wait a minute. Is that whoa? Is Lovey Smith again? Lovey Smith again. He was with the Bears, then he's with the Bucks. But black head coaches don't get multiple coaching opportunities in the NFL. People, they are lying. Okay? They lying, y'all. Not to mention Blind Flores. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's not black, actually. I mean, I don't know if you go to skin. I don't know what he is, but his ethnicity is not African-American. That is an absolute fact. What is he? Brought out by yours truly, Joel Davis Media Network. That is a fact.
You know, I was listening to somebody. I think it was Officer Tatum, and he was sitting there saying, he says something to the effect of, "You're only black when like Obama. He's only black because it benefits him. It benefits him getting these titles, even though he's half. He's a mixed race." Right.
So listen, we got Taylor saying that wealthy blacks are feeding the race narrative to the public. Absolutely, sounds like it sounds hypocritical to me. It's a fact. That's true. We got Free from Fetters Grove. He is backstage. I'm gonna let y'all handle this. I'm gonna continue to bring to go through these, but these black head coaches. But I actually have to fix this audio because I have some clips here that will not work unless I go back. Welcome to the stage, y'all. Yours truly, you know who he is. He don't need no introduction. Free from Fetters Grove.
Good evening, family.
What's up, Fetty?
What's happening? Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah, we hear you, man.
This feels awkward. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I'm here, though.
I'm glad you're here, man. I know it was kind of last minute, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I wanted to bring you on because, again, man, if you don't go somewhere, crazy dog, don't come over here. Nobody will see you. But what I'm trying to do here is, not only, talk about African-American head coaches, but I'm also trying to establish the reality that, listen, man, if we do things that aren't good as a family, there's always a way to try to redeem it and to keep it going. And, I'm like, me and Fetty had words and we didn't really get to straighten them out, but in our own way we did. And just for anybody that's in the circle, man, that thought that, a disagreement would bring, indefinite separation. It's just not the case because I don't hold nothing. I thank God that he didn't. And, I would love to have this whole family back together. I'm putting it out there and I'm not just saying it. Fetty up here and ain't nobody judging Fetty. I'm not.
I am.
Shut up.
Whatever.
Shut up. Look, so y'all take it over. I'm gonna keep going through the coaches and you get to kick it. I have to fix these things, okay?
All right. Go to the next coach.
All right, going to the next one. Man, if you don't go lay down somewhere, boy.
Jimmy Caldwell.
Again.
Did you see him earlier?
Man, I thought we saw that guy.
He was awful. This dude was awful. 36-30. I mean, he has a winning percentage, dude, but I heard a lot of complaints coming out from the players working when they were coached under Caldwell.
I'm not really familiar with these coaches, but I got to admit, I didn't realize there were that many African-American coaches. Like there actually has been quite a few. I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude. And you know what's insane, bro? And I'm going to bring this up. And it's not about head coaches. This is going to go on capper stick a little bit, if you don't mind me, Greg. You know how they always talked about that there was not that many black quarterbacks in the league and that they didn't start coming. There wasn't one who I think was the 1980s is what they said with Warren. Was it Warren Moon?
I'm not sure, bro. I'm not real big on football, man, to be honest with you. Unless it's the Packers. I'm not.
It was definitely Warren Moon.
It was not Warren Moon. There was a quarterback for the Broncos in 1967. Marlon Briscoe was the
first, I forgot about Briscoe. Yep.
Was the first starting black quarterback to lead a franchise.
Interesting.
Yeah, dude, and he was good. They called him the Magic Man. And dude, this crap that they're sitting there spewing, man, it's all about race baiting. Shannon Sharpe is one of the biggest race baiters. I can't even watch this show no more. Between him and Skip Bayless, dude, they make me sick.
Absolutely.
I can't stand them, man. That's oh my God. Like, what's it? Keyshawn J. Wheeler Max. I can't stand them, man, because every single day, all that they do, man, is perpetuate racial division. And I mean, there's just no way that anybody with half a brain can say that, African American coaches haven't had ample opportunity to prove themselves as head coaches. That is simply a freaking lie.
Right.
Yeah, dude. And you see him and like Vance Joseph, bro. As soon as he got fired from Denver, he ended up with the job in Arizona as a defensive coordinator.
Yes.
And he tore the Broncos apart. He was terrible. Terrible. And he tore us apart. A Super Bowl winning team, he tore apart. That was a pathetic move. Josh McDaniels was worse, but I'm tired of the race pandering, bro. It's disrespectful to the American people, race pandering. Instead of sitting there, talking about the issues, explaining why these coaches were fired in the first place, you get these race pandering people like Shannon Sharpe, you get race like Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith, you get them all race pandering, trying to get people to feel sorry for themselves. If you were successful, Mike Tomlin is one of the most successful head coaches in the NFL. You get him 15, 16 years now coaching the Pittsburgh Steelers? It's because he wins.
That's why he's up there, because he's a winner.
Absolutely. I mean, you see these guys on, these teams that are making so much money. I mean, it's sick money that they're making, and to do something that they love, you know what I mean? And it's like, that's opportunity, man. If I've never seen it before, you know what I mean? And I just don't see how some of these people have room to even complain, it's crazy.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. I'm actually looking up something real quick. We've paid Vance Joseph, I think it was $20 million to coach the Broncos. $20 million.
Wow. That's crazy.
And he was not good. It's crazy. And we were hyped up for him because we thought that he was going to keep our defense stellar. He inherited a 9-7 team. He had a $40 million salary cap that he had to work with. It's insane, man. And, I just wish he would have been successful. And anybody that watches football, I don't care what race the coach is, you want to be successful. Am I right?
Absolutely. That's the whole point of it, right?
That's what I think is you want to be successful. You're going for them. You don't want to see them lose. What kind of fan are you? Oh, I want my team to lose, especially season ticket holders.
Yeah.
Let
me a lot of money for those tickets.
Let me just invest $4,000 a season for one seat and root for my team to lose. That's stupid. That's stupid. And I would love to see more and more coaches I would think that if you didn't have the Rooney Rule, you would see more black head coaches because they would actually bring in the best coaches to interview. You would see a lot more black head coaches, and it seems like and maybe the owners are rebelling back because of the Rooney Rule. You're not going to force me to do something I don't want to do.
Right.
I want to bring in 11, 12 qualified head coaches. Don't matter which race they are, because Jim Caldwell was before the Rooney Rule. Romeo Crennel was before the Rooney Rule. A lot of these head coaches had head coaching jobs before the Rooney. Herm Edwards had a job as a head coach before the Rooney Rule.
What's the Rooney Rule?
You have to go and you have to at least interview one black head coach in your search.
Interesting.
And if you don't, They will fine you. They will fine you money and draft picks if you don't.
That's crazy.
So, dude, if you were a multi-billionaire, right? And wouldn't you want to just hire the most qualified person? Or here's even the bigger kicker, and I'm sure Greg will do this, right? We'll agree with this. A lot of these times, bro, you like for instance, the Dallas Cowboys or Kansas City Chiefs. Let's say Eric Bieniemy was a white guy, right? And he was being groomed to be the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, but he was white. So now let's say Andy Reid retires. You want to just move into Eric Bieniemy, again, saying that pretending he's white. Now you have to go interview me and Greg just to check off the Rooney Rule. You just can't go right into it. You have to start an interview process, which is bullshit. Don't you think, Greg?
I mean, listen, I think everybody should get a fair shake. I think all coaches, if a coach is on the table like this guy right here, Todd Bowles, who's a great defensive coordinator down at Tampa Bay, he simply failed as a head coach. But I think you should. I think people of minority groups, who are African American, should be brought in because you don't know if they're the most qualified. You do want to have an interview, and you know what I'm saying. But what these people are saying is that if the interview happens, then they're sham interviews.
No, but what I'm saying though is, let's say I've been grooming Fetty to be my head coach, right? I'm a head coach of Buttskins Dalai Lamas. I'm over there. I'm grooming Fetty to take over my team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm ready to retire. I'm like, all right, Fetty, this is your team. Is it fair that as an owner that they have to go and interview 4 more people, spend all that money to fly across the country to interview somebody, even though you already know Fetty's taking over? It's no secret Fetty's taking over.
No.
Yeah, it don't make any sense. There's no logic.
I'm with you on that. No, there's no point in it. Todd Bowles.
Terrible.
All right. He went 10-6 in his first season and was 24-40 in the 4 years that he was there. Jeez. We don't even need to say anything.
But he was a great coordinator.
He still is. Oh, there's that guy again. Whoa, wait a minute. Is that the same? Is that Hugh Jackson again?
Well, what is he? 3-time head coach?
Yep.
2-time head coach.
Yeah. This looks like his second stint.
Yeah.
But
3 was 36.
1-31, and they're saying that, people paid him to lose. Okay, Hugh, if you lost and you took the money, you a sellout. You don't have no room to be filing no lawsuit. Okay? I'm here for the money. I just want to say that.
Oh!
Wait a minute, Vance. There he is. Vance Joseph himself. Vance Joseph.
And the Bolins ain't gonna pay him to sink.
No. He was just terrible. Here we go. Anthony Lynn.
He wasn't bad.
Look, Chargers hired Lynn after Mike McCoy went 4-12 in his last 2 seasons. Lynn took the Chargers back to the playoffs in 2018, where they lost to the Patriots in the second round. He compiled a 34-32 record in 4 seasons, and he was replaced by Brandon Staley. And
Staley's doing great, right? Is that the coach now?
No, they didn't make the playoffs this year. He was horrible too.
And they got that young man.
They should have kept Anthony Lynn.
They have
a lot of these teams are in win now mode. Okay, they're not in rebuild mode. Just ask Denver Broncos. All right, Stephen Wilkes. I mean, all we got to do is just look at what happened. Okay, he was 3-13. Okay, another black head coach though. America. He won 3 games. All right. Oh, there he is, Brian Flores. Let's look at his record. It wasn't bad. He was barely at 50%. I mean, at 500. Adam Gase, who was 23-25 in 3 seasons, and he went 24-25 in 3 seasons. He was fired Monday despite leading the Dolphins to a 7 straight games winning streak in the second half. But he didn't do any better than Adam Gase.
And you hate Adam Gase.
I can't stand Adam Gase. I just want Americans. I just want people to see this, man. He was not that good. I mean, I'm just being honest. The records don't lie. He was 25-24. Adam Gase, he won 1 more game than the worst head coach in the history of the NFL. 1 game.
That's crazy.
Okay, so come on, man. Let's just stop acting like, here's this fascinating head coach. He's beautiful. He's wonderful. And he got fired because he's black.
No, you got fired because you had a losing season. He
got fired because he was black. No, he was terrible.
You said it yourself, dude. One game more than Adam Gase that you loathe.
So listen, the number's 562-542-3185. If you have anything to say, please give us a call. At the Real Greg Kelly Show, I have Free from Fetters Grove. I have TCB. I'm RGKS. We have a few more of these to go before we go to a commercial break. But I just want America to know this guy did not get fired because he was an outstanding head coach, and they just said, you know what, fuck the black guy. I'm tired of this guy.
He won one more game than the worst head coach.
One more game than the worst head coach in NFL history. We got two more. Here we go. I wonder who this is.
David Culley?
David Culley.
He's an afterthought. I don't even remember this dude.
4-13.
Wow.
That's why you don't know him. 4-13. Again, I don't have to speak on that. The numbers speak for themselves. Last but not least, that's it.
David Culley, man. I never heard of that. And I watched
he coaches the Texans. He coaches the Texans, and they suck.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just call it what it is. They suck.
They do.
I mean, that's just what it was, man. So anyway, well, look, this is the Real Greg Kelly Show. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will be right back after this commercial break. And I just want to thank you again for your time, your effort, and your support. Got Free from Fetters Grove in the building, TCB. We will be right back. You are watching the Real Greg Kelly Show.
It puts the needle in its skin. It puts it in whenever it's told.
I'm a pureblood. I don't want the jab. I won't take the vax.
It puts the needle in its skin, or else it gets the pink slip. It puts the needle in its skin.
You can't make me take it. Please. Please don't.
It puts the needle in its skin.
I'm dying.
I hope y'all got a kick out of that. Hey, thanks.
My God.
I'm
Real
dying.
Greg Kelly Show, baby. And I got Free from Fetters Grove, and I've got TCB in the building. What y'all think about that commercial right there? Alex Jones did that one.
That's hilarious, man. Fauci's way overstepping his boundaries in so many ways, man. That dude thinks he's God, and it's truly sad, man.
He puts the needle in the skin.
Yeah,
the needle in the
hilarious.
skin. All right, so look, let's get into Brian Flores. Let's get into his interview on Get Up 4 days ago. I want you guys to check this out. I think this is epic. This is interesting. Anytime anybody wants me to stop, just let me know if you want to comment on it. If you want to call in, the number's 562-542-3185. Call in, man. Call in. Here we go. Brian Flores.
We are delighted now to be joined by Brian Flores, who is the head coach of the Miami Dolphins for the last several years, who was released last month and has filed, as of yesterday, a lawsuit against the National Football League about its hiring practices. Also, here are his attorneys, Doug Wigdor and John Alefterakis. Yes. Thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
And Brian, let's just jump in. We have 20 minutes here, so we will be able to cover a lot of ground, and we are delighted. You filed this lawsuit, which you are aware is obviously going to have enormous repercussions. What was the tipping point for you, through your experiences, that made you feel this was something you needed to do?
Well, I mean, just, I've been on, several interviews over the years. And look, I mean, we didn't have to file a lawsuit for the world to know that there's an issue from a hiring and firing practices in the National Football League.
That's correct. A lot of people have pointed this out. So why did you feel you needed to do this?
Because we need change. That was
change.
That was the number one reason.
Okay, so he said we need change, right? That's what he said.
But what change, though? I mean, we went through the coaches. There's already in it. Did you see does this have his demands in it?
Oh yeah, he goes into what he's actually filing the suit for and what he's looking for. Yes,
this dude. He does realize he just ruined his entire coaching career in the NFL.
I mean, he actually said he knew he was ruining his coaching career in the NFL. But Barrett, all right. So look, answer this. We got TCB up here, and I want to ask you this question: if you were a head coach and you were in line to get a head coaching job for two other organizations and one organization out of the three organizations that were considering you to be a head coach, would you file this lawsuit when you were still the number one candidate? I say again, the number one candidate for two other organizations to be head coach. Do you file this lawsuit?
Fuck no. Easy. No.
Fetty, you there, brother? Fetty stepped away from
I am here.
Do you? I mean, I'm gonna ask you the same question. I got this question for you too. And you're a leading prospect for three organizations. One of the three say no, but you're still the number one candidate for two head coaching jobs. Do you file this class action lawsuit?
No.
There's really no reason to, at all. So
he's trying to be the sacrificial lamb, like Colin Kaepernick. He's trying to play the Colin Kaepernick card.
Right.
Yeah, I think so too. And just in case you guys didn't know, in the chat, Colin Kaepernick was paid a hell of a lot of money by the NFL to go away.
Oh, I'm sure
he was, because he didn't want to play.
Him gone.
Yeah, he wasn't. Listen, he wasn't willing to play anyway. He had to try out. He didn't even want to go through with the prerequisites to actually have to try out, where they were going to have it, who they were going to have, wide receivers. He actually thought that they were going to bring in some bum wide receivers who couldn't catch the ball so he could look bad. This is brain rot. This is called cognitive dissonance, people.
And then he don't forget the year before he opted out because he opted out of San Francisco. He could have still been making money. He opted out. But that year before, he was going to get the Denver Broncos. John Elway reached out to San Francisco to trade for him. And
he didn't want to play.
He didn't want to play in Denver because I think John Elway's demand was he had to take a small pay cut to come to Denver to because if you remember, he was benched for a really crappy quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he was okay. I mean, he went to the Super Bowl. He did a pretty good job. The year after that, he didn't look too good. Let's finish this year. Let's check this out. Because, I'm just keeping it real. He wasn't that good.
No, he was benched for a really crappy quarterback. He was benched for
Blake Bortles.
Yeah, no, worse than Blake Bortles.
Wasn't Blake Bortles?
Nope, it wasn't Blake Bortles. It was another guy. He was trash. I used to know his name.
Look that up. Here we go.
And I know there's a sacrifice, there's risk to that, but at the end of the day, we need change. We need change. I know many very capable Black coaches, some of my staff who I know, if given an opportunity or when given an opportunity, are going to go and do a great job on their interview. And I would just hate for that to be a waste. And I think, we need to change the hearts and minds of the people making those decisions. That's why we filed the lawsuit.
Who are those people? Who specifically do you think needs the change?
The owners of the NFL.
All of whom are obviously white.
Wow. Okay. So all of them who are obviously white. So now it's about white ownership, and they need to make a decision. Excuse me. They need to have their hearts and minds changed about the hiring process. Well, let's just get into, again, his coaching record. His coaching record was below 500. He never made the playoffs in 3 seasons. So why do they need to change what it is? Oh, Boyer. Anglo conservative said it was Clint Boyer.
No, it wasn't. It was I have it right here. He was Blaine Gabbert.
I said Blake Bortles. I meant Blaine Gabbert. And both of them are bums. Both of them are bums. So,
but he does realize John Elway is going to sue him. John Elway is going to sue him. He's going to lose his ass if he don't have evidence that John Elway was drunk. He's going to get he's going to lose his ass because John Elway is already going to sue him. I don't know what the hell this idiot was thinking.
Maybe he wasn't thinking. Anybody ever consider that? Maybe
probably not.
actually thinking. You know what I mean?
I bet you he went to a lawyer and they're like, oh yeah, we got them. No, dude, you said some defamating stuff about John Elway, the New York Giants owner, and the Miami Dolphins owner. These guys are billionaires, dude. They're gonna sue the shit out of you, countersue. He better have evidence. I'm talking about he better have some concrete evidence.
I don't know how you prove that unless he had a video camera in there. So yeah, let's continue here.
I mean, sometimes, I'm a lawyer, obviously, but sometimes you need litigation to create change. The Rooney Rule didn't work. We now have less black head coaches than when the Rooney Rule started. And Brian thought long and hard about it. And litigation's not for everyone, but he stepped forward. He's been referred to as the Rosa Parks of the NFL. And it's a testament to his character.
Come on.
And the litigation.
Okay, I got to talk
change.
about that.
Either
the Rosa Parks of the NFL. Are you serious? Bear, I saw you throw your hands up. I mean, what's up, man?
I'm telling you, dude, he's an idiot. These guys are bums. His lawyers are bums. Who says that? I have never heard anybody refer to Brian Flores as the Rosa Parks of the NFL. I mean, if anybody was going to get that name, wouldn't it be Colin Kaepernick?
No, it's Colin Kaepernick. Don't forget it. Crap.
And don't forget, Rosa Parks took pictures with Donald Trump.
Right. Yeah, because
a lot of people did. A lot of African American folk and minority people did. Facts. And it wasn't until he became president that he was so hated. Sorry about that, Greg.
No, you good, brother. Say what you got to say.
Yeah, no, it's just that's crazy.
I agree with Anglo conservative. That's an insult to Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks was in the position to take a beating.
Absolutely, she was.
You know what I'm saying? Because she wasn't going to be forced to sit at the back of the bus. Please stop.
That's a huge insult.
Are you kidding me? The Rosa Parks at the NFL. Wow, I agree. Come on. We got to do better than this.
Somebody should slap those lawyers.
Yeah. All right, so let's get back into this.
Because we're going to litigate the case to the end, or the NFL is going to now do the right thing faced with litigation.
Okay, let's go through some of this.
Or you're going to get sued out your ass with the countersuit.
You had with Bill Belichick, for whom you worked in New England at some point, in which it appears he was congratulating the wrong Brian Daboll, rather than Brian Flores, for getting the job in Buffalo. We've all read that, or excuse me, leaving Buffalo and getting the job with the Giants. We've all read it. When you first realized the mistake he had made, what was your first reaction?
Disbelief, humiliation. That was a tough pill to swallow.
Okay, so disbelief and humiliation because Brian Daboll did not receive the text that you received, which is congratulating Brian Daboll for being the new head coach of the New York Football Giants.
You know what I saw when he said that?
What'd you see?
He went like this, exactly like this.
But here's the deal. Bill Belichick, was making an attempt to, congratulate Brian Daboll, who again did a hell of a job in Buffalo, had a winning record in Buffalo, went to the AFC division game, the divisional game with Buffalo, lost to the Chiefs, and they were on the coming up. They were trash, by the way.
They were.
And so here's a guy that has proven that he can not only run an organization, but he can take a quarterback and take him from subpar performance to superstar level performance. Why don't you hire that guy? Why don't you hire him?
You find the best candidate that matches your system, what you're going for. That's what you're interviewing for.
Yes. And it's not like they call Brian Flores and say, hey, listen, there's no point in you coming in to do a second interview, okay? We found our guy. No, they bring him in anyway.
Yeah, they gave him that respect.
Yeah, because they respect the brother. They respect him as a head coach. They respect him as a professional, and they continue the process. And now all of a sudden, it's a trashy, disrespectful, dishonorable, degrading interview. And
you know why though? Because New Orleans is not a big enough market for Brian Flores. He wanted New York because it's a big market. He gets his name recognition if he turns the Giants around. New Orleans wasn't a big enough market for this man. To me, that shows how shallow he is. instead of appreciating the job that he could have got in New Orleans or was it Minnesota, he turns his back on both those teams and starts a lawsuit because he lost out on the big market. That's what this is about. That's what this steaming, smelly piece of shit that he's dumping on the NFL. That's what it's about. He wanted the big market. Call me a liar.
Yeah. Like everybody wants that big market. And he, what I feel is that, and I don't know if anybody agrees. Again, this is our GKS Real Greg Kelly show. I have Fetty. I have TCB. We are live. And we're talking about Brian Flores, just in case anybody just tuned in. We're talking about Brian Flores' stance against the NFL and their hiring procedures. Even though they followed the Rooney Rule and they brought him in, he's still griping about the fact that he didn't get the job. Not to mention that he's still the lead candidate for 2 other head coaching jobs in the NFL. Let's
one now because Minnesota hired their coach.
Yes, they did. Yeah, here we go.
And that, I have a great amount of respect for, Bill and Brian Daboll. Brian's a great coach. I think he's going to do a great job as a head coach in this league. I was upset that I wasn't getting a true opportunity to show what I can do, to show what I can bring to a team, which I feel is a lot. I think that's what I've shown in my time as head coach.
Yes,
So he wasn't getting the opportunity, but he was interviewed for the head coaching job. So, like, what would be your idea of an opportunity? They decided not to go with you, Brian. And let's just be honest. Not everybody goes into a job interview situation and get the job immediately. Plenty of Americans have been told no.
Jim Harbaugh.
Can you not handle being told no?
Didn't Jim Harbaugh just get told no in Minnesota?
I think he said no.
Oh.
I think he didn't like the way that the deal would have been established. He wouldn't have been able to recruit his own talent, and he didn't like that. He wanted total control. He's a power freak. Everybody knows that. So he went back to where he had absolute power. But Brian Flores is playing the victim because he didn't get the job, but he's not considering that Brian Daboll had a better resume. He simply had a better resume.
And probably interviewed really well.
And not to mention, the general manager is also from Buffalo, which means they know how to recruit talent. So these two guys have a working relationship. So, of course, you would hire somebody that you already have working experience with, you had success with. And, of course, that's the guy that you would recommend to the New York Football Giants organization. Hey, this is my guy. We're going to go through the hiring process. But the man's resume speaks for itself.
But think about this, though. Like, this goes back to what I said when I gave the thing about me and Fetty. I groomed him. I knew that's what's going to happen. And they still paid the same respect to Brian as an interview, whether it was Rooney Rule related or not. He still had the opportunity to go interview. And I bet you if he would have blown them away, blew their socks off, he would have got that position.
But it's kind of hard for him to blow him away. The resume speaks louder than your words in the interview.
Right. It's true.
You know what I'm saying? The resume, what you accomplished in Miami, was subpar at best.
It's happened, though.
Mediocre at best.
It's happened, though. Vic Fangio, when Dennis Allen was up for our head coaching job, that was going to be our head coach. Fangio blew him away, and that's how he got it. Vance Joseph blew away John Elway, and that's how he got the position.
Well, maybe they learned from those two guys. You can't take the interview process and think that the interview process is, in and of itself, an ability to make a determination about how well a coach will coach your franchise because you sat down and had a conversation with him.
But I'm just saying it.
You have to have some tangible evidence, and I don't think anybody is denying what Buffalo has become versus what Buffalo was.
Oh,
Buffalo was the bottom of the barrel, bro.
I was going for Buffalo in the playoff game.
I mean, they had a chance to win. I think they should have won. However, Josh Allen was some trash. He came out of college. He was trash. And these two gentlemen were instrumental in, number one, getting him to Buffalo, and number two, transforming him into a formidable MVP candidate. And this is what the New York Giants want for Daniel Jones. They believe that Daniel Jones could be the future of the Giants. And so they brought a head coach in who has a resume for being able to transform quarterbacks.
And that's probably what they were going for.
Yeah, and Brian Flores does not. Brian Flores has a reputation of not being able to get along with front office management and not being able to get along with quarterbacks, such as Tua Tagovailoa.
See, that's why he's not. And again, like you said, the resume speaks for itself.
The resume speaks for itself.
And when you have that reputation for destroying quarterbacks like Tua, you're not going to get the job, especially if they're trying to groom a fantastic new young talent.
Yeah, I agree. Here we go.
That's what this is all about as well. There's just not equal opportunity. You know, this is not a knock on Coach Dable. This is a knock on the fact that the job was promised before Coach Flores even got an opportunity. And there's backroom dealings and information that Coach Belichick knows. Why? Why is that being discussed? Why do people have this information? Why is a decorated coach like Coach Flores,
Let's stop. Let's stop right there. I mean, do we need? Okay, hold on.
Did he say decorated?
Yep, she did. Let me. Oh God, let me get down to this right here. Let's see. Here we go. All right, check this out. Let's check this out, people. Just so the American people can see that we're not like just kind of bashing Brian Flores. Let's look at this. Here we go. Brian Flores, decorated.
24 and 25. That's not decorated.
No playoff wins, no divisional titles, no Super Bowl appearances, and he's decorated.
But here's what he's trying to go off of, and I've seen a few interviews right there where it says he won the last 7 of 8 games. That's what he's staking his reputation on.
I'm just saying we're talking about decoration here.
Oh, I know, but
he's not decorated.
I understand that. I'm just saying though. I know he's not decorated. I'm just saying what his point is that he won 7 of his last 8 games, was going to the playoffs. That's what he is pissed off about, losing his job.
I like what you said, was going to the playoffs. Please call in to the RGKS hotline, 562-542-3185. We would love to hear from you. Let's get back into this clip here.
Humiliated into having to sit through an interview and dinner when a decision's already been made.
It's worth pointing out that the Giants said in their statement that Brian Flores was a candidate for this job up to the 11th hour. What is the response to that?
Notice they don't say up to the time that he actually interviewed. So they don't even deny the allegation that we put forth, which is that the job had already been given to Brian Dable.
And so, Coach, I'm sure there are many watching who will wonder, why did you go on the interview at all? If you felt it was a sham, as you suggested in the lawsuit, why did you go?
Free expensive dinner.
I believe that
Facts.
innately people are good and are going to do the right thing.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So the right thing here is to hire him and not hiring Brian Dable. Can we just call this what it is? He felt a little entitled.
Absolutely, bro. There's no doubt.
He wanted that.
This is the epitome of wokeism. You feel entitled to something. All right, but your resume is subpar. I mean, it is mediocre.
It's like, Greg, you can relate to this. Like, I'm not getting off the football topic of the situation, but, coming home and going to find a job, you know what I mean? And I know when I went in to interviews, when I first came home, now that my resume looks good and I have a work history behind me, especially in the construction industry from back in Cali when I was union carpenter or whatnot, now I know I'm worth a little more, but when I first came home, when I would go into them interviews, I definitely didn't feel entitled to shit. I just came home from doing 13 years. I fucked up. I had to pay my dues, and I didn't have anything owed to me. I had to come home and earn it. And so, yeah, I mean, I totally it's like like you said, the resume speaks for itself, man. And when you go in there with a foul record and expect the world handed to you, it's just not going to happen.
I mean, and what I'm looking at is, when we look at the really good African-American head coaches, they didn't feel entitled. They waited. They got their opportunity. They made the most of it.
Absolutely.
The Tony Dungys, the Lovey Smiths, the Mike Tomlins,
right?
Kept their head down. The Ron Riveras down in Carolina. You know what I'm saying? They actually did the work. They waited their turn and they made the most of their opportunities. Brian Flores just had another subpar season where the Miami Dolphins did not make the playoffs, and this was the 3rd season. Tell me, what more do you want, Brian Flores?
And the Bucks.
What more do you want?
The Bucks were in the playoffs. You know what I mean? It's like, come on now.
Hey, again, what more do you want? I got the conservative bear, free from Fetters Grove, my brother, and I have a comment there so you guys can see it. Listen, we're talking about Brian Flores, and we're talking about, his sense of entitlement. He said doing the right thing. Do the right thing. So what is the right thing, y'all? Hire me. Why? I'm black. This is the epitome of the woke community. This is the backdrop of what wokeism look like. We feel like, people of color who are woke feel like they are entitled. They are entitled to positions that they're really not qualified for.
Greg, do you see that comment in the comments about the NFL is not racist?
But at the same time, the NFL.
What is race norming? I'm confused.
At the same time, the NFL used race norming to deprive black players from receiving equal CTE compensation as their white counterparts. I know exactly what you're talking about. And again, I won't agree that it's about skin color. What I'll say is that, CTE, if you look at it, the history of it, it's affected more Caucasian players than it ever has minority players. So we can't play that card. Let's get back into this.
Greg knows his shit.
Facts, brother. To allow them the opportunity to do the right thing or do, or at least make it a fair situation, unless I went there and showed them that I am qualified. I am a leader of men, that I am passionate about coaching and building relationships and
lies.
I'm gifted to coach. I mean, I am. I know that. And I wanted to show them that.
Gifted to coach, but you only won 24 out of 25 games. Okay.
Also, he says he's a leader of men, but he treated his black quarterback like crap.
Well, Tungavalua is something other than black, but he is a minority.
Okay, he's a minority. He treated his minority like quarterback like crap.
Yeah. I don't know how he treated him, but I know their relationship was pretty bad. Yeah.
I think we saw that in the interview.
And Mike, one of the things that often happens when you're dealing with racial issues is people find a soft hiding place, a soft place to say, oh, you know what? Coach Flores didn't get the job because he did an interview. Maybe he took himself out of contention. And, Coach Flores having to put his best foot forward and go, hat in hand and just interview, knowing deep down that this job was promised elsewhere. Aside from being humiliated, that's something that black candidates often are forced to do so that an image isn't portrayed or a stigma that, hey, you didn't go, you didn't follow through, you didn't do your part.
Understood. But I would say, I think those text messages confirmed a lot of what a lot of us, black minority coaches already feel. That we're going into these, and they're shams. They confirm that a lot of there's a belief in look, that was just a mistake by Belichick. We've all sent the wrong text message to somebody. But in this instance, it came to me, and it was almost, it was confirmation that those backroom dealings are happening.
So it's a backroom deal that NFL organization made their decision on who they wanted to lead their franchise. So let's just say this. Let's just say that the ownership of the New York Giants decided to call Bill Belichick and say, hey, listen, you play this team twice a year, the Buffalo Bills. What have you seen them accomplish in the last 4 years? And I imagine, Bill Belichick says, hey, listen, they've gone from the bottom of the barrel to, division champions. Okay, these guys are good. These two guys, their GM and their head coach, are they're doing exactly what you want, your upper management, your executives and your head coach to do. And I say, you know what, if you were me, would you hire them? And Bill says, yes, I would. Like, that's not a backroom dealing. That's calling, one of the greats of the game and getting his opinion, right? And then you decide, and I say, you know what, I'm going to hire him. And I know I've got Brian Flores over here. He's one of our candidates, but I trust, your expertise in the matter. Is that an underhanded dealing? Because the man's black?
No, that's using your resources.
That's using your resources, and that's actually tapping into the wealth of information and the wealth of scouting ability that Bill Belichick has. Now, if he sent a text message to Brian Flores and he meant to send it to Brian Dable, and we have one man looking at that as evidence that there's some type of disparity, some underhanded dealings. I don't look at it that way. What I do is I look at it and say, you know what, just look at Brian Dable's resume and can make a comparison to my resume. And I'm going to be honest about it. I'd say, damn, I've won 24 out of 25 games, and Brian Dable was just one game away from the AFC title game. And each year I've watched the Buffalo Bills get better. You know what I would do? I'm just being honest, y'all. You know what I would do, America? If I were Brian Flores, I'd call Brian Dable and I say, hey, listen, you're way more qualified for the job than I am. Give me a position on your coaching staff. I just lost my job. Will you consider bringing me into the New York Giants organization as a coordinator? I want to work with you. I want to learn from you.
Facts.
You've been doing this. You have success, and I want that success.
Humble yourself a little bit.
Humble yourself to put yourself in a position to get better.
Facts.
I got
it.
A lot of great coaches have done that. That will take a back seat and go learn and
under somebody with more experience,
especially if you're a defensive-minded coordinator and you want to become a successful head coach. I think Mike Shanahan did that. He was an offensive-minded head coach, and he went over and he was a coordinator for a defensive-minded head coach before Seifert, and he learned how to run his defense.
Yeah.
Can I say something real quick? I just want to respond to this comment to No None. The NFL race norming is the NFL saying black players have a lower cognitive ability than white players. I'm just saying, I don't know if you're just speaking about the coaching right now or if you're speaking about the NFL on the whole, because when I watch football now, I see a lot more talented African-American wide receivers, running backs than I do whites. So it seems obvious to me that they have a lot more opportunity than I think even whites a lot of time in football now.
He's talking about CTE.
So explain that to me, because maybe I don't understand that.
Back, some doctor discovered that getting brain trauma was causing people to lose cognitive disabilities, i.e. Hernandez for the New England Patriots was found out to have a really bad case of CTE.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember about that.
What the NFL did is they did there was some kind of research that was done, and that was a joke, just so you know. What you have on the screen, that was a joke. What they found out, they used something called race norming, which said that, and I was looking it up, and it says something to the effect of, and this is from Vox, the NFL pledged to discontinue race norming since the early 2000s, which they stopped doing in the early 2000s. The league had been using the controversial medical practice, which included the assumption that black players have a lower cognitive function than white players as part of a dementia test to determine payouts in a brain injury settlement. Now here's the thing, and I've noticed, and I'm not a doctor, but I play one on TV, that a lot of people that I notice that have a higher case of dementia is white people. Yes. I don't see dementia much in the Latino community, and I can't speak on the black community.
That's true, man. Like, I mean, my wife's family's Mexican, on her mom's side. And I mean, Hispanics generally live to be a pretty old age, and their mental state is pretty well off, man. Now, white folks, on the other hand, I know several of my family members who had dementia and fucking, and started losing their shit when they got older. So, I mean, I don't know. I tend to agree with you. But if that's the case, if they stopped using that in the early 2000s, what I'm saying is facts. You're seeing a lot more African-American and Latino football players, wide receivers, running backs, people playing these star positions, and even quarterbacks in some senses. But, then you do whites. It's just facts, man. And it's because they're more agile and talented than a lot of these white dudes. It's just facts. The dudes are hungry too, and they want, and so I disagree with that comment. I really do. I had to say that.
And also, don't forget, man, back in the 80s and the 90s, it's not so much anymore, But back in the 80s and the 90s, the offensive linemen were what you would do is you would use an open hand, cupped it, and you would smack the side of the helmet where the ear was at, which was causing a lot of damage to the brain.
Hell yeah.
I know. Greg played sports though, but you got to remember back in the 80s and the 90s, the offensive tackle and the defensive linemen were usually, not all the time, were usually white, heavy, big white men. Especially in the 70s and the 80s. And I think in the 90s, it started becoming more mixed race. And back in those days, man, you would cup your hand and you would smack them as hard as you can, hitting that part of the brain, which would cause damage to the brain.
The eardrum, that put pressure in the eardrum into the brain canal. I mean, yeah.
Because I loved football since the 80s. And I've always noticed, like, I've noticed things like stupid things like that. And I was like, dude, look at, he just smacked that guy. Howie Long was big on using that move.
Flores, yeah. So look, Ron Washington said, remember, it's all a business.
Facts. And you know, he said a comment up earlier. Right here, Ron Washington. I really agreed with this. Really it's about who can be the best candidate of being a slave to the entertainment industry. Facts. And that goes along the entire entertainment industry, not just football and sports. I mean, we all know what's going on in Hollywood and everything else. You got to sell yourself to these people to become anything in that industry, and it's sick.
You do. He also said, I've never known too many black people to suffer from dementia in my community. We do want to thank, hey, No None. Hey, look, thanks for your input. I would like to catch up with you and, maybe talk to you about, the information that you're getting. I do appreciate it. Again, you're watching The Real Greg Kelly Show. Let's continue with this clip.
Very clear on why something like that might be a sham and why they would need to do it. There is the Rooney Rule in the NFL, which is something that I'm sure fans hear about quite often and may not know specifically, but I heard you describe it this morning in a previous interview as checking a box. So the existence of the Rooney Rule, in which every team must interview at least 2 external minority candidates for an open head coaching position. Doug, how does that rule impact a lawsuit like this?
Well, I think the intentions of the Rooney Rule were right. It was trying to get more of these owners to interview qualified black candidates. But when the team is interviewing a qualified black candidate and they've already made a decision, it shows prima facie evidence of intentional discrimination. It means
it doesn't.
A white candidate before they've even given the black candidate the opportunity. And it's not only for head coaching positions. What we really need to see are more black coaches doing offensive coordinator positions, defensive coordinator positions, special teams, quarterback. So that way it flows into the head coach positions. And we need more black owners. And
okay, so Bear, I'm sure you want to have, you definitely have something to say about the statement that was just made.
It pisses me off, dude, because the simple fact is like the general manager that came into that position already had a working relationship with the other gentleman. I've said this 8 million times before. It does not show discrimination. It does show that sometimes if you already have a relationship built with somebody, you're going to work with that person simply because you know how they are, you know how they're going to act, you know what their capabilities are. It doesn't show discrimination. It shows favoritism, which means it's totally different than racism or anything like that. It just shows, Greg, you're my buddy, bro. We know each other. You know what? I got this job coming up. You want it? You do? Okay, come on over.
Exactly. There's a big difference between favoritism and racism. Welcome to the chat, Trader NBD. What it do, brother? Always a pleasure to have you in, and you already know the deal. You are definitely welcome to come up if you want to. There is the link in the chat. Trey,
love Trey,
the NBD. It's in the building. I mean, it's always a pleasure, man, to have him on. I got
just said, let's protest until we get white cornerbacks in the league.
Oh yeah, we don't have any white cornerbacks, by the way. We don't have many of those, maybe 2, maybe. And the truth of the matter is we should protest, damn it.
I'm down for it.
We should freaking protest because there is not, enough black or white cornerbacks. Oh, dare I say white.
You know what? Greg?
The gods.
Gregford, you know what?
What's up?
White cornerback lives matter, bro.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
I had to go there.
Yeah, I mean, it's only right. Let's finish
You
this
said,
up.
fuck yes.
Yeah, we got to go to a commercial in a minute. Hold on.
And when you talk about the Rooney Rule, it's ultimately tied to an assumption that the owners and the upper management are people who are going to do the right thing and hire based on merit and not based on someone who they're comfortable with, someone who looks like them. And, that's what this is about. We've listed in our complaint a list of demands that we want to see, tying, hiring practices to performance, hire a black coach, hire black executives, open up the process and provide objective evidence of what went into your decision-making process. So these decisions aren't done with the all white owners in backroom dealings with people who make them feel comfortable because they look like themselves.
So you're saying the level of transparency that you believe does not currently exist. So that's one of the three specifics that you cite here of teams. That's the New York Giants. Let's go to the job that you did get in Miami. When you were the head coach, you allege in the lawsuit that the owner, Stephen Ross, approached you about tanking games to get a better draft choice and said he would give you $100,000 for every game you lost. As you can imagine, that obviously has enormous repercussions. What can you tell me about the specifics of that offer? How specifically did he state that to you?
That was a conversation about not doing as much as we needed to do to win football games. Take a flight, go on vacation. I'll give you $100,000 per loss. Like, those are just the exact words. It's not something. Look, I deal in truth. I say that to the players as well. I'm going to give you, good news, bad news, but it's going to be the truth. It's going to be honest.
Oh, really?
And in that instance, look, I came from. Look, this game's done a lot for me. A lot for me personally and my family. I've said this, on other, shows, but my parents are immigrants. I'm first generation. I grew up with, in a tough neighborhood here in Brooklyn, Brownsville. There's crime and poverty.
Brownsville, baby.
Violence. And it's hard to make it out of there. And the game of football is a reason why, or a big reason why, along with a lot of the great people mentors I've had in my life, why I was able to have the success that I've had. So to disrespect the game that way was something that, trust was lost, and there were certainly some strained relationships, and ultimately, I think that was to my demise in Miami.
Well, there wasn't too much of a strain because he stayed there 2 more years, and I mean they were horrible. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you, say that it was an issue of integrity, because if it was, I think if it's really a big deal of integrity, then he steps down as head coach after that offer's made.
That's because he got his feelings hurt. Sand in the vagina. He wanted the big. He wanted the big money for being in a big market, and then he couldn't handle it when he got told no. It seems like I have a 14-year-old autistic son. When I tell him no, he throws a fit and starts crying and throws himself on the floor. That's what this reminds me of. So I'm gonna sue Gregford. I'm suing.
I mean, I'm just not sure. I mean, I'm just being honest. Like, I don't know how he proves that there's some type of discrimination. When, again, if you evaluate the resumes of the 2 coaches that were in question, I mean, clearly Brian Daboll has a more solidified resume than Brian Flores does. I mean, so how do you say that this is discrimination because they were interviewing you and they made a decision about a coach they had previously interviewed? We're going to go with this guy. And they continue on with the interview with you, and they never tell you that you have the job. You were promised the job. Like, where is that in the media? Like, I haven't heard anything about Brian Flores being promised a job.
I've never heard of that either.
No.
I never heard that. However, once again, what we're looking at here is somebody that has a strong sense of entitlement. And when you have these strong senses of entitlement, you put an expectation on people to do what you think they should do. And when they don't, you melt down. And again, I mean, how do you go about proving that there was some type of racial discrimination? I don't think it has anything to do with that. I mean, if you just look at it for what it is, one coach has a better resume than the other. I mean, that's just flat out the truth. Brian Daboll's resume is better. All right. So you just hired a black guy to save face?
That's what they want, Greg. That's what he wants. If you look at his list of demands, that's what he wants. He wants more black owners. I'm sorry, you can't just take away somebody who paid billions of dollars for a company and just take it away from him. He's the owner. I mean, you would have to force somebody to sell. And like I just said, the Broncos are for sale. They offered it to somebody who was black, and he didn't want it. You can't force somebody to take on ownership.
No, you can't. Again, you guys are watching the Real Greg Kelly Show. The RGKS hotline, the number is down in the bottom of the screen, 562-542-3185. I want to hear from you. I'm getting upset. Nobody's calling. You're hurting my feelings. I feel entitled. I'm entitled to a phone call. At least one. Again, Trey the MBD brother, come on up, man, if you want to. Anybody else that wants to come up, hey, the link is in the description. I mean, not description. The link is in the chat. I'll put it back there again. For anybody that wants to come up, angry, conservative, it doesn't matter to me who you are. We just simply want your interaction. We appreciate it. I do have Free from Fetters Grove in the building, and none other than the TCB, the conservative bear who buried. Come on. Let me hear you say it. You buried.
Hillbilly?
No, not Hillbilly. The liberal bear is dead, y'all.
Oh, I'm grieving, bro.
He was in a car accident. Wasn't he in a car accident or something?
I'm going through stuff right now, dude, because he was in a dude. So the liberal bear is dead. He got hit by a car and he died of COVID.
Hey, I'm sorry for, the loss. And
hand claps, man. I'm not sorry. They buried that bastard. It's a piece of you know what. All right, here's the last segment, y'all, on this. We're not going to be able to get to it all, but we're going to move on because we got some other stuff to check out. Again, Real Greg Kelly Show, Free from Fetters Grove, the TCB in the building. Let's get back into this clip here. Brian Flores crying like a little girl about him not getting hired in New York.
Story is not unique. Right. People are tweeting out. Coaches, high-level coaches who have even contacted us are talking about being in a similar situation. So, as part of what we're doing in creating this class action is not just Coach Flores is taking the lead and making the ultimate sacrifice, but there's going to be more.
I want to make sure I'm clear here. You're saying coaches are reaching out about having been in similar situations with regard to hiring or with regard to being incentivized to lose games?
Both.
Yeah. Both. I want to come back to you quickly on that, though. I want to make sure I'm perfectly clear. He was suggesting, I don't want to put words in your mouth, you were working too hard, you were doing too much in the effort to win. He was trying to get you to do a little bit less and said, I'll give you $100,000 for every game.
Exactly that. That's just not my DNA.
Bullshit.
Never going to happen.
So what did you say to him?
That's never going to happen. I didn't come here. Look, I'm always going to try to win. That's who I am. And I owe that to the players in the locker room, but also the support staff that's in the building, who work extremely hard. If you've been in an NFL building, everyone in that building, his job is important. And everyone works hard to try to get on the same page and move in the same direction. And I felt like we were building that type of culture. So I would never do that to them, and at the end of the day, I think it was the reason why I'm no longer there.
Okay. So I did hear about a few head coaches, Hugh Jackson being one of them, saying that Cleveland offered him money. And I'm going to touch that. I'm going to touch on that in a few seconds here. But Sugar Baby 1010 said, if I owned a team, I'm not sacrificing my team just because someone thinks I have to hire a person based upon their race or even gender, for that matter.
I want a transgender head coach for the NFL.
Yes.
Facts.
And AC said, so if a black person owns a team, does that mean that he has to hire a white coach? Because if he didn't, it would be racism or it'd be racist. That is actually an interesting question. So would black owners be forced to hire white head coaches? Would there be some new form of Rooney or Whitey rule?
Whitey.
I mean, would there be another rule implemented? I mean, let's look at this. He's talking about white ownership and he's talking about white, head coaches and general managers. But yet he has two white lawyers. Like, are they not, the scum? Are they not, the white privilege? Are they not Karen's sons? I mean, can anybody answer that? Anybody in the chat? Are these not Karen's sons? How do we not know that they're using Brian Flores to get money?
They are. I was there.
You see how ridiculous this is? Anytime you play the race card, there's also, there's a counter move for that. There's a real available counter move here. And again, I don't disagree that Brian Flores is an okay coach, but he wasn't better than Brian Dable. He's simply not. I mean, the resume speaks for itself. 24 wins out of 25 games. Okay. I mean, you didn't do anything that was substantial. And all of this speak about, a qualified candidate. I mean, in the scope of it, he's really not qualified because he didn't really have a winning season. And they say he had 3 winning seasons. Well, he had 2 winning, half seasons. Because, when he started out the season, I mean, maybe he dropped the first 6 games so he could get $600,000. But he's not going to mention that. He said it would never happen. But I want this to be known. Fact, they lost their first 6 games. The Miami Dolphins. Did he take the $100,000 incentive? And if he did, right now he's being a fraud.
I think he took the money.
I think he did too. Let's see.
Okay, so that's the Dolphins piece of this. And then there's another piece involving the Denver Broncos, in which you allege that this is back when you were still coaching in New England and interviewing for a head coaching job in Denver, one you subsequently did not get, in which you state that in an interview that you had with them, that John Elway and another Broncos official showed up an hour late, looked disheveled. It was obvious to you they had been drinking heavily the night before the interview. You say it became clear they only were interviewing you to fulfill the provisions of the Rooney Rule. What specifically can you remember about that interview?
So I've had 9 interviews with NFL clubs. There's been one interview where anyone was late. And it wasn't me that was late. It was the interviewers who were late. That was with the Broncos.
That's bullshit.
There was a reason why they were late. I think they were they'd been out the night before. I think that's
liar.
Okay, well, let's stop it right here. Now we're dealing with assumption because you don't know, Brian Flores, whether they were out the night before or not.
Yep.
You don't know that.
They have detailed notes. They have everything proving that they had they interviewed Vic Fangio until late in the night that night and came away that they were going to hire Fangio, but still made the sacrifice to fly from DIA on a red eye across the country to where this idiot is right here and still give him the opportunity to interview. They had landed and had to be there by 7:30 in the morning after they landed.
Hold on, guys. We might have a call here. Hold on.
Please let it be him.
I need to get this on. Hello, this is Greg Kelly. Hello. Oh, I don't know who that was. They hung up. Maybe they'll call back. Hopefully they will. I did contact John Smith. That was not his number. Let me hook that up here.
The Johnford?
Yeah, the Johnford. Whoever you were, please call back. I didn't get an opportunity to answer before you hung up. However, they got documented notations, things that prove something or another. I mean, I just don't know how he proves without seeing them that these guys were out drinking the night before. And this is the reason that they're late.
I'm telling you, dude, John Elway already said he's going to sue this dude for defamation.
And rightfully so, because you can't say that. You can't bring opinion into fact. And you can't say that you knew for a fact that, these guys were drinking the night before. So let's see what he says. Oh, here we go. They did call back. All right.
You're on with the Greg Kelly Show.
All right, you're on air. This is Greg Kelly. AC. All right, AC.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
All right, welcome to the Real Greg Kelly Show. AC, what's going on, brother?
AC, I want to ask this question because I didn't hear if you guys talked about it when I was calling in.
Okay.
If he interviewed for 9 NFL jobs, why isn't he shooting the other interviews? Why is it there only 3 of them?
That's a very good question. Maybe he didn't feel discriminated against by the other, 7.
The other 6.
The other 6 teams weren't racist, and then not to mention he filed this class action lawsuit against all NFL teams, all of them.
But the 3 main ones, wasn't it? The Denver Broncos, the Giants, New York Giants,
and the Miami Dolphins.
And the Miami Dolphins.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. What's your take on him not mentioning the other 6?
I think it's hypocritical. Even though he got the interviews, it's hypocritical of him to just the 3 teams. Like you said earlier, I think it was because he wanted to be in New York. He wanted that big market. He thought he was like Hillary Clinton. He was entitled to that position.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I feel about it. Bear, what do you think? Do you think it's really entitlement, or, does he actually have a legitimate gripe, really, in some regard?
Well, to me, he's a liar. I mean, it's going to come out. He's going to get sued. Other than that, man, it's like I said before, man, he wanted the big job in New York. He wanted it. He said it himself that that he had already been promised that job in New York. So when it came out that Brian Daboll got that position, then he got all in his feelings. He cried. He probably peed a little bit, and
he wet the bed.
Wanting that job. It is what it is. Dude, you did it. You weren't the most qualified person for that position. You didn't have the inside track with the new GM in that area. Take it and leave it. Now you just ruined your chance to coach a really good team in New Orleans.
Yep.
Simply because you peed your bed.
Yeah.
I got one more question for the 3 of you.
Yes, sir.
How much is he paying them guys to lie to him?
Man, that's a very, very good question. I would love to know what he's paying those attorneys. Just to get on television and make a fool out of them. Because, look at this comment from Sugar Baby. She said, why does it even matter? If they were out drinking, they're grown men. I mean, this is the dumbest lawsuit. Shaking my head. I agree. I mean, how do you even determine that they were drinking? If you didn't see them drink, you can't go on national television and say that.
Because they came in, he said, because they came in looking disheveled. Like they just flew in on a 3-hour flight at 4 a.m, which they probably did.
So, yeah, I mean, does that mean that they're drunk and hungover from the night before, or is that your opinion?
That's an opinion.
It sounds opinionated to me. And it's just sad. I mean, really. Like, really, again, I would have loved to, seeing him, just say, you know what? Hey, take a back seat for a minute. I just lost a head coaching job. Let me get into an organization that I actually want to be in, and let me be a part of a winning culture, because he hasn't been a part of a winning culture other than his stint in New England. And he got on his own and he failed. Josh McDaniels, a white guy, America, was a horrible coach with the Denver Broncos. He went down with Bill Belichick. He learned some things. He got his temper under control. He learned the ins and outs of offensive coordinating, and now he is a top candidate. I'm not sure if he got hired yet with Nevada, but I know that they're really considering bringing him.
He's officially the Las Vegas Raiders.
There we go. So he's officially the Las Vegas. It's only been a few times where a coach left one head coaching job, getting fired, and then go to another. It's obvious there's some things that he needs to learn, and he's not willing to humble himself and realize that there's more things for him to learn and acquire as a head coach. And this is the downfall of Black America, a sense of entitlement and an unwillingness to be humble.
I think Andy Reid was the last one that got fired and got picked up. Am I right? Like right off the bat?
Yeah. I mean, Andy was doing a hell of a job in Philly. He just couldn't get over the hump. He got over the hump in KC. And he's still doing his thing. 4 straight AFC championship appearances at home. AC, thanks for the call, man. You're welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome to the Real Greg Kelly Show anytime, brother.
Thank you, AC.
All right, we had AC call in. Very good question. I want to transition here. We're going to go one more brief segment, about 2 minutes, and then Brian Flores, because I want you to hear what he had to say right here.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but what gave you the impression, if you will, that they had been out drinking the night before?
Well, I mean, when you sit at a table with 5 people who are interviewing you, you know you can tell who's asking questions, who's into the interview, and who's not necessarily in the right state, I would say, in that moment. But even then, obviously, I put my best foot forward and showed why I was a good candidate for that job. I'm always going to do that. But I certainly did not feel like I was taken seriously, and that I was just there as a Rooney Rule.
All right, so I guess he's all in his feelings because it's all about how I feel. No facts whatsoever.
Can I say something about that?
Huh?
Can I say something about that real quick?
Sure.
Who was the head coach right before him? Right before he interviewed? Do you know?
When the Giants?
No, when he went in, because he's talking about the Broncos right there. You know who the coach was before him? Before he got that interview?
Oh yeah, the other guy.
Vance Joseph.
Yeah, Joseph. Yeah, your boy.
And what race is he?
He's a black man.
Okay. And who hired him?
The Denver Broncos.
No, but who?
John Elway.
What leg does he had to stand on that the Broncos are a racist organization and would pull some shit like that? When the coach that he was going to replace was already a black head coach who had 3 years in our position. Elway kept giving him time after time after time and actually put his head on the block going out for Vance Joseph so he could keep his job going into the 3rd year. Because Bronco fans were already picketing outside Inglewood, wanting to fire Elway for Vance Joseph because he kept giving him that third year to get over the hump.
Yeah, but again, this is information that nobody wants to hear. Not from the woke community. All they can do is what we call race bait. You know what I'm saying? I mean, America, it's over. Like, it's really, really over. It's tiring. It's boring. It's offensive. It's degrading. And at this point, listen, if you're a person of color, empower yourself. This is the Real Greg Kelly Show. I do appreciate the kindness and the patience of this audience. I thank AC for calling in. And, again, if you're a person of color, empower yourself. Just make sure that you remember that you're watching the Real Greg Kelly Show. We'll be right back after this brief commercial. Y'all sit back and enjoy this.
Hello, Michigan.
And there was much rejoicing.
Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Ice Force 7.
Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated, y'all. Get your ass vaccinated. Damn it. Get the jab. Get it. I want you to have it. A gift from me to you. Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated.
And you mean that with all sincerity, right? You too?
Absolutely. You get it. I want you to get that stick in your arm. Get that stick in your arm, y'all.
You hear that, YouTube overlords? He means that with the bottom of the sincerityness of his heart.
I want everybody to be vaccinated. Okay? Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated.
I've gotten 4 of them.
I'm on my 3rd booster shot. I mean, I'm about to get my 4th booster shot, y'all. That's why my damn hair growing so crazy, because I got vaccinated.
Hey, and just so you know, if you are feeling any of those symptoms.
Hey, Fetty, we can't hear you, brother.
My bad.
All right, yeah.
Go ahead, Bear. My bad.
I was going to say, if you have any symptoms, if you're growing an arm in the wrong place, the law offices of TCMB are open.
You have the freaking commercial, man. Tell me you got it, bro.
I'll pull it up real quick.
Play the commercial. You have to play the commercial, man.
I was gonna say I'm on my 5th booster because in New York City they're handing out $100 gift cards to get vaccinated. So I'm just changing my information a little bit and going in and getting that, that gift card. Yeah.
Just know if you feel
I'm on
anything,
it.
Ooh.
I got it right here.
Did you hear about that?
All right, hold on. I got you. I'm pulling you up right here. Go ahead and play it.
All right, can we pull this up? Oh, hold on, window. There we go. Is it showing? You have to approve it.
Not yet.
Are you sharing your screen? I got you.
I am. All right, guys.
Oh God.
It's not coming.
Hold on. There we go.
Why isn't it coming through?
It's not moving. It's not playing.
Technical difficulties. It's
What's the move, Bear?
Oh, there it is. Here we go. Oh, all right. Here we go.
If you have been sniffed by this sniffer, we at the law offices of TCNB for you, so you never have to be sniffed by this sniffer. Don't be a victim of this nasal sniffer. We at the law offices of TCNB, we make it right. We stand up to the sniffer and we fight for you. Don't stop sniffing you. You don't owe us a dime. So please call the law offices of TCNB for your free sniffer consultation.
Sniffer consultation.
Oh God, I'm dying over here.
That's not even the one I wanted to show you guys. Hold on.
Oh, there he goes. There he goes.
This guy is ridiculous.
What a fucking loser. What a fucking loser.
I'm okay,
man.
guys.
I'm sorry. I know he's the president of the United States, but he's a fucking loser.
That's not the one I wanted to show you guys. This is the one I wanted to show you. Ready?
Oh, come on, man. I thought it wasn't it. That was funny.
But there's another one. Hold on.
Oh, man. Where is it? Okay, so I got you. It's still in there. Go ahead and share it.
If you've been snipped into getting the vaccine, this sniffer, we at the law offices of TCNB, we fight so you can be compensated for your damages. You don't need to be a victim anymore. We at the law offices of TCNB, we make it right. We stand up to the FDA and Big Pharma. There's already been 5 million cases of hands growing heads, a second head growing from the back, and many other side effects. Call the law offices of TCNB for your free COVID-19 side effect consultation. We have lawyers standing by.
My fucking stomach hurts. I had to mute myself. I was over here laughing so hard, man. Oh, I'm dead.
Oh,
shit.
oh,
That shit was
God,
hilarious.
man. I can't do this.
Fucking Bear.
Hey, I'll be right back, man. Holy shit.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I haven't laughed that hard, man, in a long time. I'm telling you now.
Oh, my God. This guy is so stupid.
Bro, I was bored one night, bro, and I just I was, when you're watching late night TV and like those infomercials come on, and I was like, can you imagine?
Oh,
hey,
man.
bro, the fingers and they.
Oh my God, this guy, man, is so retarded, man. I can't take it, man.
Those are available on my channel. I haven't taken those down.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious,
God.
bro.
Jesus.
You know what, Greg? I'm gonna send those to you so you can use them for.
I gotta use them, man. I gotta use it, man. You are so insane, man. This is so crazy.
Dude, that's what happens when you have insomnia and you're watching TV. You get those kind of crazy ass ideas.
Dying.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay, listen. Thanks again. You tuned in to the Real Greg Kelly Show. I got the Conservative Bear, and I got Free from Fetters Grove with me tonight. Woo, boy, that was
Oh,
hilarious.
man.
You hear me? That is classic.
Ron Washington said those are Super Bowl commercials right there.
Oh man, bro, I'm telling you, man. That is definitely a Super Bowl.
Oh God, I'm dying.
Oh
man.
Ooh.
Wait till I come up with the booster one, man.
Yeah, I mean, hell yeah.
God.
I mean, yes, Lord God, yes. So look, let me see what I got in my lab here. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even want to really touch the
dude.
I don't even want to touch that part. I don't
Hey
want
man,
to.
it's the month I've been waiting for, bro. I'm waiting for that show.
Oh yeah, I look, just so you guys know, I've been working on a origin of the N-word documentary. It's going to be maybe 2 or 3 series. I've been waiting to, just for the right time here, but I wanted to go here tonight. I was going to actually go into Max Kellerman and him saying, why Eric Bieniemy has not gotten a job yet as a head coach. But I just want to take the time to tell America why Eric Bieniemy is not a head coach. It has nothing to do with his skin color. It has to do with the fact that he's going to be handed the keys to the kingdom. Eric Bieniemy is a offensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Why are you breaking my heart with the story, bro? You know how I feel about Eric Bieniemy.
Well, I mean, the truth always hurts. I'm sorry.
Dude, wait, tell everybody who I wanted to fill the Broncos position.
Eric Bieniemy. He wanted Eric Bieniemy to be the head coach of the Denver Bohos.
The 3-time Super Bowl champion.
They're the Bohos. But anyway, Eric Bieniemy is working with one of the best head coaches in NFL history. He has, by a small margin, one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. One of the best, offensive, minds in the realm of designing plays in Andy Reid. And when Andy Reid retires, Eric Bieniemy will take control of the Kansas City Chiefs, which means he's put in the perfect situation to be successful. There's really no reason for him to leave Pat Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Nicole Hartman, and the cheetah himself. There's no reason why you would leave a team that has those offensive weapons. And he's learning the offensive scheme of one of the best offensive minds to ever coach the game. Why would you leave?
Very true.
Why would you leave? Why would you take a job with the Dolphins or the Giants or the Jacksonville Jaguars, something that you have to go and, work hard and possibly not be successful, when somebody's saying, Eric, stick around, you're going to inherit the kingdom?
It's a no-brainer.
I'm sticking around. I'm willing to coach. And what people don't look at is, the perspective, looking at it from the perspective of legacy, because Andy Reid just had, the Kansas City Chiefs invest $500 million in Patrick Mahomes.
Wow.
He used to come to Denver.
Right. Wow. Why would you not take a coach that's been under the coach that brought him up to speed? Why would you not want to keep that same system in place for the next 10 years?
Facts.
Which guarantees they're going to be in the AFC Championship. In the next 10 years, they're going to be out of 7 to 10 of them. They're going to be in 7 out of 10 of them, which means they're going to have 7 more opportunities to go to the Super Bowl. Easy.
Eric Bieniemy should have came to Denver.
Bruh, be quiet, man. No one cares about Denver. God. Okay? Only you care about Denver. We don't care about Denver.
All of Broncos country cares about Denver.
Whatever.
He had dude. Here was my point, Fetty, because this dude already knows. He has Colorado roots. He went to the University of Colorado. He coached at the University of Colorado. Dude, Broncos country wanted Eric Bieniemy, dude. It's all over the Denver Post.
Obviously, his hometown.
Yeah, we wanted him. But Greg Kelly made a phone call.
Fucking Greg, man.
Crushed
Put the
my
kibosh
dream.
on it.
I think what the Broncos did with this Hackett, dude. I mean, he's supposed to be a great coach, dude, but
I called him and I told them, do not bring in Eric Bieniemy, please. I'm sorry. All right. I'm operating on the fly over here, y'all. And I got something that we're going to close the show with here.
I was pissed.
Yeah, I was going to ask you something. Have you did you check out Joe Rogan's response?
Oh no,
for the whole N-word thing.
No. Why is he
Oh,
apologizing?
hey, bro, let me send this to you. Let's touch on this, man, if you got time.
Oh, that matter of fact, hey, you send that to me. I'm gonna put that in the lineup. I ain't even gonna mess with this.
You got Instagram?
I do.
Okay. Let me. How can we do this? Here,
Email.
I'm gonna send you the link to the video I'm talking about. I'm gonna email it to you.
Okay.
And then if you want, you can share it.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. So for those that don't know, and maybe you're not even aware of it, Greg, I don't know, but somebody put together a huge compilation of him saying the N-word on his podcast, but in contents of like quoting, people and stuff like that, not trying to say it in an offensive manner or in a hateful way to anybody, but to
he pulled a Joe Biden. He pulled a Joe Biden. Joe Biden was quoting another governor, and he was like, "We don't need any more nigger governors. We don't need any nigger mayors." Okay, bam.
Right.
He wasn't saying it. He was actually reading it from paper.
Exactly. And he was holding a conversation with another person regarding it. And it's topic of conversation. And instead of not saying, the N word, he would actually say the full word. And so they put a compilation together. It made him sound real bad. So let me send you his response, because I thought it was, I don't know. I don't know. I want your take on it. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
So let me see how I can do this.
Can you stop sharing your screen to TCB?
Oh, snap.
Thank you.
Let me go ahead and email it to you, Greg.
And then The Rock's little bitch ass backed out on him.
Oh, The Rock.
I'm sorry. Dwayne.
He liked ding-a-ling. He's gay.
Okay, I just sent it to the email you sent me the link from.
It's just that, come on, man, grow a pair.
Yeah, Dwayne got his tongue up his ass.
Yeah, just grow a pair. Please, for everybody, just grow a pair. Please.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, there's a part of me that feels like he explained himself intelligently, but I do feel that he was a little too apologetic in what he had to say. Like, I feel like he was, but we all know Joe Rogan is a very like peaceful dude. Like, yeah, he's into MMA and he fights and shit like that, but he's a very like humble, peaceful, intellectual type dude. Like he's not a mean person. Like, I don't think sure, maybe he might get upset sometimes, but I don't think he's like, a mean person. And I don't know. I do think he got a little apologetic, but I do think he explained himself very intelligently and explained the situation in its entirety for what it was. But I sent it to your email, Greg, the same one you sent me the link from. I just replied back to it.
I got you. I'm about to pull it up right now.
Yeah, no, take your time, brother. I didn't know if you had time.
I want to actually do this. I was going to bring up something else, but this is far more juicier.
Yeah, it's interesting how he worded it.
To me,
it's sad what's happening to him. They're trying to cancel him out, bro.
But you never apologize, man.
Nah, dude.
You can.
But I don't know. I see. That's why I want your read on it, Greg. I want your read.
I'm gonna listen to it. Yeah. I'm gonna listen to it. But there's nothing wrong with apologizing. If you think you did something wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. All right, here we go. Let me see. Let me cancel that out. There we go.
Hello, friends. I'm making this video to talk about the most regretful and shameful thing that I've ever had to talk about publicly. There's a video that's out that's a compilation of me saying the N-word. It's a video that's made of clips taken out of context of me of 12 years of conversations on my podcast, and it's all smushed together, and it looks fucking horrible, even to me. Now, I know that to most people, there's no context where a white person is ever allowed to say that word, never mind publicly on a podcast. And I agree with that now. I haven't said it in years, but for a long time, when I would bring that word up, like if it would come up in conversation, instead of saying the N-word, I would just say the word. I thought as long as it was in context, people would understand what I was doing. Like that context was part of the clip we were talking about Red Fox, how Red Fox said that word on television in the 1970s and how times have changed so much since then. Or about how Richard Pryor used it as one of the titles of one of his albums. Or I was quoting a Lenny Bruce bit, or I was quoting a Paul Mooney bit.
Pause it real quick.
I was talking about how Quentin Tarantino used it repeatedly in Pulp Fiction. Or I was talking about how a Netflix.
Here's the thing, man, with that word. It's insane on how it's polarized this country. And I can't wait for you to drop your show, Greg. It's going to be great. Here's the thing, guys, is back in the 70s when Red Fox and Richard Pryor were doing comedy, the N-word used to mean something completely different.
Right.
Chevy Chase said it on live TV on SNL. When Richard Pryor wrote that joke for Chevy Chase to say, go back and look at SNL and look up interview process with Chevy Chase and Richard Pryor. It's fantastic. It's funny as hell. And don't forget, all the racist jokes in that Mel Brooks movie, what's it called? Blazing Saddles?
Yes, Blazing Saddles.
Richard Pryor wrote all the jokes for the white
jokes for the white people. Yes, he did. Yep.
And why I agree with you, Trey, never bend a knee, and I agree 100% completely. But I just feel that he did a really good job at intelligently explaining this to people that may just be ignorant to any of this. You know what I mean? And not, you know what I mean? And maybe a younger generation. It was just, I don't know, man. I just think that he did a good job. But yeah, I do think he bent the knee a little bit.
Yeah, I'm going to make a determination, after we check it out, because I haven't seen this. And again, thanks for sharing this. Again, y'all are watching the Real Greg Kelly Show, free from Fetters Grove, the Conservative Bear. Let's get back to Joe Rogan.
Netflix executive, ironically, used it because he was trying to compare it to another offensive word, and he said it out loud, and they fired him.
Netflix executive
saying the word out loud. I was also talking about how there's not another word like it in the entire English language, because it's a word where only one group of people is allowed to use it, and they can use it in so many different ways. Like if a white person says that word, it's racist and toxic, but a black person can use it, and it could be a punchline. It could be a term of endearment. It could be lyrics to a rap song. It could be a positive affirmation. It's a very unusual word, but it's not my word to use.
This is where
that now, but for years I used it in that manner. I never used it to be racist because I'm not racist. But whenever you're in a situation where you have to say, I'm not racist, you fucked up. And I clearly have fucked up.
Absolutely disagree with that.
And that's my intention to express myself in this video, to say, there's nothing I can do to take that back. I wish I could. Obviously, that's not possible. I do hope that, if anything, that this can be a teachable moment. Because I never thought it would ever be taken out of context and put in a video like that. And now that it is, holy shit, it looks bad. And it's part of also me doing this podcast for thousands of hours, thousands of episodes, over 12 years. I said a lot of fucking stupid shit, which is fine when you're talking about most things, but not when you're talking about race. And there's another clip that I have to address. There's a clip from 11 years ago. I was telling a story on the podcast about how me and my friend Tommy and his girlfriend, we got really high. We were in Philadelphia, and we went to go see Planet of the Apes. And we didn't know where we were going. We just got dropped off by a cab, and we got dropped off in this all-black neighborhood. And I was trying to make the story entertaining, and I said, we got out, and it was like we were in Africa. It's like we were in Planet of the Apes. I did not, nor would I ever say that black people are apes, but it sure fucking sounded like that. And I immediately afterwards said, that's a racist thing to say. Planet of the Apes wasn't even in Africa. I was just saying there's a lot of black people there. But then I went on to talk about what a positive experience it was and how much fun it was to go to see this movie in a black neighborhood. It wasn't a racist story, but it sounded terrible. And like I said, you can have clunky stories about anything, but not about race. And so I deleted that whole podcast, but obviously somebody made a clip out of it and taken out of context. It looks terrible, but it looks terrible even in context. It's a fucking
I didn't hear all this. Maybe I didn't listen to it all the way.
I certainly wasn't trying to be racist, and I certainly would never want to offend someone for entertainment with something as stupid as racism. My hope is that, look, I can't go back in time and change what I've said. I wish I could. Obviously, that's not possible. But I do hope that this can be a teachable moment for anybody that doesn't realize how offensive that word can be coming out of a white person's mouth in context or out of context.
Yeah, that's bad. I didn't hear it all.
Humble apologies. I wish there was more that I could say, but all of this is just me talking from the bottom of my heart. It makes me sick watching that video, but hopefully at least some of you will accept this and understand where I'm coming from. My apologies and much love. My sincere, deepest apologies.
Oh my God.
He went too far, man. I told you guys.
Oh,
he went too far.
jeez. I didn't listen to the whole thing apparently because, man, I don't remember any of that right there. That I'm brain numb right now. It hurts. Go ahead, Greg. I want to hear your opinion on it, dude. Now I got a whole different opinion on it, but go ahead.
I mean, so what he did here, is kiss ass.
He sold out.
Yeah, this is about his bottom dollar, and he definitely sold out. Because I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm gonna give you a sneak preview. I hope somebody shares this snippet right here with another person of color, and with a person that is of not of the descendants of the African community. If you look all over that continent, you look at the names of the cities, the names of the inner countries and the people there, the rivers, they're all referencing the word black, the word Niger, nigger. It was a word that described the lineage of kings and queens. So just like black people, everything always seems to go back. We love to use that term, history repeats itself. Well, it's actually repeating itself in this country because people of color, when they say, "What's up, my nigga?" they're not calling you a racial slur. They saying, "What's up, my nigga? What's up, my dude, my homie? What's up, brother?" In essence, that's what they're saying. But when it was said back, during the Egyptian dynasties, there were 18 of them. That word nigga was referred to pharaohs.
Absolutely.
America, wake up. Wake up. That word was never used. That word was not invented by white men, white slave owners. You don't want to get me started on where slavery came from. I got something for you, though.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see that, bro.
Slavery did not originate with white men. The Aboriginal people of Africa were slaves in Africa.
I heard something about this.
Let me tell you something about indentured servitude, okay? You are a slave, you have no rights. It doesn't matter the circumstance that led you there. They were slaves. Point blank, period. If they didn't do what they were told to do as indentured slaves, they died. I want to also put this out here. Just for all of my N-word haters. I have white brothers right now that call me nigga right now. Don't mean nothing. You know why? Because I know they got love in their heart when they say it. If the person out there that thinks that they're using it as a racial slur to offend me, you can't touch me with nigga because I know what nigga mean. The word's meaning don't change based off who said it. It doesn't change. Can we get that? The English language is established. And just so you know, the word nigga ain't even American. It's a Spanish word. And what it meant was black, dark. That's what it meant. The Africans and the Spanish traded human beings for centuries, long before black men landed on this continent called America. Long before. People of color are prominent all over the globe. and before slavery became the white man's business, I want all of my fellow Americans to know it was the black man's business. I want you to know that. It was the black man's occupation. It was the black man's stock market, human being, starting with their own.
Facts, brother.
Joe Rogan bent over, took it, and then he kissed ass.
Absolutely, man.
That's what he just did, because if you know Joe Rogan, you would understand that he's not using this word in a derogatory manner. But can somebody tell me why Joe Biden was not crucified for using the same terminology, using the same quote unquote racial slur in the House of Congress?
Yep.
Hey, can somebody pull that clip up for me? Let me see.
I have it on my.
While you're pulling that up,
video clip somewhere. You got it, Joey?
No, I don't have it. Pull it up though, brother. While you're doing that, I want to say something.
Go ahead, do your thing.
You know, after I didn't see the whole thing. Apparently, I must have fell asleep with it on my chest or something watching it, because I didn't see the whole thing. After watching the whole thing, and he did, man, he sold out, and it's sad because I know Joe Rogan. I know he's not a mean person at heart, and he's an intelligent man. He's into intellectual shit, and you know he's holding conversations of intelligence, of history, and he was not using that word in a negative connotation, but he just fucking, like you said, he bent over, man. I mean, he just kept apologizing and talking about how sickened he is by watching it. And it's like, bro, what do you mean? You didn't have a mean, you know, sentiment in your body when you were saying those words. You were talking some real shit. I mean, so anyway, so I think he sold out. I think you're right. That was about the bottom dollar. He's worried about getting canceled out. And it's sad, man. It's sad to see this happen, man. You know, it truly is. And you're right, bro. People forget about history, Greg. Like, you know, there's so much more beyond the United States of America. We have, you know, many, many, many years predating America.
Yeah. I got
people
you.
forget about the pagans and there's, I mean, I'm not even going to get into all that. You know, you read in the dictionary, the days of the week are named after, you know, Norse gods and goddesses, period.
They are. Check this out. Here we go. Listen to this.
Indicates that there was intent. The court found the plan with unerring precision slices through the city's traditional subunit, the ward in a racially selective manner, leaving intact predominantly white wards while carving up those densely populated by blacks. As to the governor, the court concludes, quote, the governor's opposition to the Nunes plan was predicated in significant part on his delineation of a majority black district centered in Orleans Parish. In a confidential portions of your staff memo, they brought to your attention the allegation that important legislators in defeating the Nunes plan in the basement said, quote, we already have a nigger mayor, we don't need any more nigger big shots. And the court cited evidence of discriminatory intent on the part of other legislators, including the representative. We already have a nigger mayor, we don't need any more nigger big shots. Basement said, quote, we already have a nigger mayor, we don't need any more nigger big shots. Plan in the basement said, quote, we already have a nigger mayor, we don't need any more nigger big shots. Plan in the basement said, quote, we already have a nigger mayor, we don't need any more nigger big shots.
You know what? He's saying that just like he's so comfortable saying it.
Exactly, bro. And you know, yeah, that's wild, bro. That's wild. And you don't hear nothing about that, but they're trying to cancel old Joe Rogan.
Don't forget, bro. Kamala Harris was the girl on the bus. She herself called her own candidate a racist.
She was in the back of the bus sucking dick.
Don't you remember during the Democratic primaries, she was the little girl on the bus?
Mm-hmm.
Joe Rogan.
But just listen to what he said. I mean, what he's doing is he's reading from, you know, another person's words, and you know, he's clearly saying nigger, which would be, you know, we would call it, oh Lord God, hold on just one second.
Trey or Gator?
I can't even talk no more. Hold on. Trey, the MBD. Welcome to the show, brother.
That's right, brother.
Welcome to the show. He ain't up here yet. But anyway, I just want to say that, like where is the left on that right there? I mean, why ain't nobody going back and getting that clip?
Facts.
Dude, how much time do you have to go through every single Joe Rogan episode and compile this? I mean, you would literally have to be there for like 20 hours just
facts.
Somebody was really bored. Somebody nothing to do.
That's crazy. And that's the thing. The people making the shit is the real racists. They're the real hateful fucking people. And that's the sad thing, man. You know what I mean? Those are the hateful fucking people.
I'm with you on that. Like, you really gotta be seriously intent on trying to ruin somebody's life because you don't like them, because they're successful, because they're standing on the Constitution of this country. I mean, they love freedom, and they're trying to empower people to say no to this tyrannical ass government that we experiencing right now. And you want to go back and try to dig up anything you can and use something as, and I'm gonna use this term, as trivial as race. It is trivial, man. Come on, look, Bear can say, hey, real Greg Kelly, what's up, my nigga? I'm not mad. That dude ain't offend me.
Right.
Even if he got mad and said, man, fuck you. I mean, an N-word. I'm not mad. I'm like, bro, it's some words. And people got to get out of their feelings. Like, man, see, that's why they're trying to destroy the masculinity of this country, because they want men to be sissies. They want men to be super emotional. You know what I'm saying? They want men to be, along the lines of, emotionally unstable. And, what's the word? They want to put men in position that when they speak about their feelings, they speak in hyperbole. They're over exaggerating it, because men should be able to endure whatever comes their way and not, be sissified because somebody said a word. And, oh, you hurt my feelings. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm going to call my mom.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Man.
Trey, what up, baby?
What's up?
Chilling. Feathers, Bear, man, Greg, man, it's a great stream, bro. I had to put it to my ear in the grocery store. Y'all was going in so hard.
That's right.
What's up, baby? All right, welcome Boogie to the stage.
Oh, mama.
Man.
He can't take it no more. All right,
Papa.
Oh man, I just got a German Shepherd, man, a puppy. He's 3 pounds now, and I think he'll be that size pretty soon.
Okay, I love you too. Yes.
I got a blue nose too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a female.
Look at this. He's a pretty.
Her name's Kira. He's a beast though. She's not as big as him.
Why are you trying to get up over it?
She's a little smaller. Good boy.
Whew. He's back. But anyway,
as big as a Weimaraner.
Yeah, he's a big one, man. He's a big old baby though, man. He's just a baby. This dude will not let me sleep. He's all in my bed. Yes.
Man, so what
hey, okay, I gotta put this up here for Nana. So Trey, listen, welcome to the show, man. I just want to get your take on Brian Flores real quick, and if you can, share with us, how you feeling about what Joe Rogan just did. Go in the order you want to go in, but give us some feedback, brother.
Well, Brian Flores, man, a couple things. You know me, man. I'm VA. I went to William and Mary. You're pretty familiar with William and Mary.
I'm right here.
I'm in love with Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mike Tomlin's the homie. He been.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he been in the end. I just look at what is Brian Flores complaining about. Mike Tomlin is there he's gonna be there forever. And that whole Rooney rule, it benefited Mike T.
Yes.
Or maybe it didn't. I don't know. But let's look at it this way. Brian Flores is a Honduran cat trying to grift off the victimhood of ADOS, FBA, whatever they want to call themselves. He ain't black, as Joe Biden would say. Don't you come over here and because me, I'm half Jamaican, man. I'm not invited to the cookout because my mom's Jamaican. But if I was on the victimhood tip, I'd get an honorary invite to the cookout.
Right.
So Brian Flores, he said it himself. Oh man, my parents are first generation Honduran, And man, let me tell you something how black folks live in Honduras. Man, go out to Los Angeles, these little tent cities, and then amplify that times 10. That's how they live in most Hondurans are living.
Mm-hmm.
They up there, Google Sambo Creek or Jutiapa, where Left Eye Lopez people are from. That's how they living down there in Honduras. So you're privileged. You're a millionaire. You're married to a pretty ass Becky, and you got daggone 3 beautiful kids making all those millions. You're living in Miami. Man, this dude need to shut the, you know what I'm saying? I'll keep it clean up here. I won't drop any N-bombs. But he need to shut his daggone, BA up. And honestly, he done messed it up for other folks. If I was a black coach, I'd distance myself from him as quick as possible. I'm like, man, I ain't with him.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be down with the good old boy network. How many games you need me to lose? I'm trying to get that #1 draft pick too.
And they act like tanking is something that's foreign to NFL and even the NBA. I mean, we all know that, teams tank so they can, build a roster. And I'm sure there's, some incentive with it. And that's just the bottom line. I mean, can we just speak the truth around here? Like you said, he's definitely grifting, and now he's trying to throw owners under the bus because he didn't get what he wanted out in New York. Not to mention that he's still a lead candidate for 2 other jobs that I'm sure he will not get right now because he's got a class action lawsuit that includes every NFL team in the league. And I think he's a dumbass.
Yeah, it's like, dude, what are you trying to do? I mean, if I'm a millionaire NFL player, I'm looking at him like, dude, stop messing with my money before we see a whole bunch of white cornerbacks running around the league. Because I'm like this. You got idiots out here talking about black folks boycott the NFL, the biggest producer of black millionaires in the country.
You want to boycott that. Yeah, that's
true. It's like the ultimate crabs in a barrel mentality. Because, God, man, I want to drop the word, but, this is y'all are just discussing it, so I'll be good. You got a whole bunch of ninjas that don't like seeing other ninjas do good, and they want to bring them back down, humble them. No, you got to come back down here and be broke and cry, with us. And I'll tell you who messed this all up, man. One dude who messed this all up, and he realized it about 4 months before he caught that bullet in Memphis, Tennessee. MLK.
Yeah.
He turned black folks into these whiny, sniveling, freaking B words. And then about 4 months, and you don't hear these speeches, about 4 months before he got clapped, he realized it, and he started sounding more like Malcolm X. When he realized that LBJ and all these other daggone white liberals played him. And when he started beasting up, bossing up, they were like, nah, you got to go. But
I want you guys to our cat named Dog.
You are out of your mind.
I got to introduce y'all to Bubba now. But yeah, man, I mean, this whiny stuff, and you come all the way over here from the second poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, Honduras, only second behind Haiti. And now you on this crybaby stuff. When you could daggone, you make probably more than the GDP of half your daggone country, your parents' country.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Look at the little kitty. Look at Fatty. That's a big old cat there, boy.
She's big, dude. She's massive.
Just like my cat, man. Like whiskers.
Damn.
She's massive, dude. I got a small one and a big one.
What's that cat's name?
Freya.
Mine's Dog.
Dog?
How do you name a cat Dog?
I didn't. Freeberg did.
Freeberg, I got to talk to her. She's out of line right now. If you're just tuning in, I see Joanne came in. You just tuning in. This is Real Greg Kelly Show. I got Trading MBD. I got Free from Feathers Grove. I got the Conservative Bear. We just been sitting here talking, black NFL coaches in the NFL, and we also touched on Joe Rogan. And I want to get Trade MBD's take on, what Joe Rogan just pulled off with that extensive bootlicking apology he just made to the left wing media. So what you got on that, Trey?
Man, I'm like this, man. I kind of caught heat a couple of weeks ago on a channel when I said this. I said if I was single, I only want white women that's down to drop the hard R. I said if they down to drop the hard R quite easily, that means they ain't messing around with Pook or Ray and them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because here's the thing, man, I've been called, I have a new term for it. I'm a W stock, a white supremacist of color, a dub stock.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been called.
Yeah, so, that's me.
I'm with it, man. I don't give a damn. What can some little word do? When you as a man are at the point of a little word hurting your feelings, bro, you might as well just cancel life. You might as well just go get a sex change operation and and have them turn your fucking penis into a vagina.
Yeah. I mean, I 100% agree with you on that. Like, come on, man. Like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jesus. Go ahead. I'm
with
just
hip hop the way hip hop you know, and the dudes with the small hats have daggone used the N-word commercially. It's a wrap now, man. You go to Alabama, man, you got daggone country white boys calling each other the N-word. You go to Mexico, you got Mexican cats up there talking about, hey, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it is what it is, man. Like, people need to let it go and get over it. Motherfuckers up there protesting and daggone crying out, you know, and tweeting on their 15.
No. Where'd you go, Trey? All right, we're gonna try to get Trey back in here.
Am I still there?
Yeah, you still here? Yeah, we got you. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I just said, man, you got cats on $1,000, $1,500 iPhones, you know what I'm saying, tweeting how the N-word hurts their feelings. Man, they need their freaking ass whipped. What it hit, man, they grew up without real daddies. Either they didn't have a dad around or their dad was a freaking pussy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a swift kick in the ass, you know, has always been a real good remedy for bullshit. At least where I come from. So what I think, man, is I'm right in line with you. You know, this is a bootlicking move. I think Joe Rogan sold out for real. I think Fetty said that. And then we got, you know, two grown men, you know, rubbing on pussy live on TV. Like, oh my God, what are we doing here? This is porn. Dude, hell are you guys doing?
I never even liked cats until I got dog.
Don't say that again. It just sounds so not right, bro. I never liked cats until I got dogs. Shut up. I need to talk to Freeberg because she done ruined the whole thing. But listen, you guys that are again just tuning in, we got Trey and Fetty and the TCB on the Real Greg Kelly show. Look at the German Shepherd.
I can't get my dogs. They're both sleeping. I can't go get them.
Look at the little thing. Is that a female or a male? That's a boy?
No, that's a male. This
boy is gonna be bad.
Yo, so cute. He's so cute. And look at us sounding like a bunch of femboys. Oh,
man, bro. God, we love animals, bro.
Yeah, it's different when it comes to the animals.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Oh,
I love animals more than I love humans sometimes, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so what'd you name him, Trey?
Oh, his name's Bubba.
Bubba. So we got
Bubba.
Boogie and we got Bubba.
Lift up, Bubba. Show him your mouth, Bubba. You see that little white spot right there?
Yeah.
When I saw him, I was like, man, he looked like he got a little Bubba lip on him.
You funny. You funny. So listen, let's touch this real quick before we get out of here, man. So apparently somebody decided to drive through you know, the Canadian trucker why am I brain farting on that word? You know, I'm always
the Ottawa truck Hong Kong.
Huh?
The Hong Kong, the Great Honkening in Canada.
Yeah, but it's like a what's the word, man?
The protest?
No, it starts with a C, I think.
Categorically incorrect?
No, man. I'm convoy. Yeah, so they got this convoy going. I'm tripping, y'all. I lost with them, man. But anyway, so yeah, they got this convoy, and somebody decides to drive a vehicle through it. I think they drove a Jeep and they ran over they hurt 4 people. Because these people in Canada are not having this, okay? And this is, again, what we need to be doing in America. We need to stand up and say no. But there's always going to be some opposition. And so somebody decided to drive a Jeep through this crowd, and they injured 4 people. I was actually going to bring the clip up before Fetty brought up this Joe Rogan thing, which I thought was more relevant at the time. However, I just want to touch it because, again, you know, anytime that you're actually standing up in this country, you know, to defend yourself and to defend your rights, there's always going to be opposition. And I want you guys to know, do not be afraid of the opposition. Do not be afraid to be uncomfortable. We looked at a powerful speech last night by Trisha Lindsay. She is an amazing woman, and she put it right here on the table. It's up to us. It is up to us. What will be in this country is up to us. What will not be in this country is up to us. Exercise your freedom. Be free and exercise your freedom. Get that Constitution. Get to know that Constitution. This is your country. This is our country. This country was paid for in blood.
Can I ask you guys a question real quick? One more story.
Absolutely.
Okay. What do you guys think about what's going on with the California kid where the teacher rips the kid over a pro-cop mask, calls it the new Confederacy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm doing that, covering that here shortly when I go live.
Oh, you going live, Trey? I'm gonna be in the house. I'm gonna be in the house.
About like 6:30 here, Central Time.
Okay. Yeah, man. Like I don't, man. Listen, brother, I would have lost my everlasting mind. Literally.
I would have caught a case.
That's what I'm talking about. When I say I'm gonna lose my mind, that means I'm gonna catch a case.
It's criminal.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, some of the stuff that's going on with these kids in these schools is just utterly ridiculous. And I don't know how we stand for it. I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't know what's going on there, but I just know that I would stand for it. And any American in this country should not stand for it. And look, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be right back, and we're going to close the show after that. I'm going to play a little bit of music or whatever. But I do. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll be right back after this commercial break. I got Trey to NBD, and y'all know I got TCB, and y'all know I got Free from Fetters Grove. My brother, I'm glad you came, man. I really, really appreciate it. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. I want y'all to enjoy this commercial. I like to bring out these funny commercials, so here we go.
Shut up! Who cares about Derek Zoolander anyway? The man has only one look, for Christ's sake. Blue Steel, Ferrari, Latigra, they're the same face! Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills! I invented the piano key necktie! I invented it! What have you done, Derek? Nothing! You've done nothing! Nothing! And I will be a monkey's uncle if I have you ruin this for me. Because if you can't get the job done, then I will. Die, you wage-hiking scum!
Oh, shit.
There it is.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for! Dear
That's my kid. That's my son.
Oh, fuck, man.
I love that kid.
Dying, bro. Dying over here.
Woo! That's some funny stuff there.
Yeah, that was good.
That was funny.
All right, y'all. All right. Closing remarks. We're going to start with Fetty.
Oh, man, you put me on the spot like that. Man, hey, to get back to what you were saying real quick, it's good to be here, man, and I appreciate the invite. And, I haven't been feeling that great right now, but I had to get up here and handle this with you. So, and I'm glad I did, man. It's been a great night. I love you, brother, and it's, I'm glad we able just to put things behind us like men, bro. That's what family do, man. We have disagreements and we move on, right?
No doubt,
Bear,
baby.
Yep, Bear, Trey, man, always a fucking pleasure with you gentlemen, man. Nothing but love for you two brothers. To everybody in the chat, to all our sisters rocking with us the entire night, to everybody up in here, much love to all you guys. Thank you for the support. And yeah, America, man, let's take this shit back, man. Seriously, we got to start waking people up and bringing attention to everything that's going on, because we got to win this shit back. We got to take it back.
No doubt. TCB.
I want to thank you all for choosing to watch the Girl Greg Kelly show.
Absolutely.
I was a guest, the Conservative Bear. If you're new to his channel, please hit that subscribe button, smash that like button. Let us know your thoughts in the comments after the show, what you guys think about the topics that we covered. Don't forget to subscribe to Trey the MBD, my brother in Pizza and Wings. Subscribe to Free from Feathers Grove when he comes back. I'm sure his content's going to be fire.
Yep.
Thanks again for having me, Greg. You are a great friend, colleague, and a brother, man. Love you guys.
Love you too, man. Trey. He ain't even in here right now.
Oh, I'm in here.
Oh, okay.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, I'm about to go live here, so everybody, if you never got a taste of me, I am. I'll hold that title, Dub Sock, Dub, supremacist. What do they call it? White supremacists of color, whatever they call it.
White supremacists of color.
Yeah, I'll hold that down. I'm trying to drop my link up in here, but I gotta find your channel, man. The link to the video, I'll find it here somewhere. I don't know. YouTube is just steadily logging me out of my computer, man.
What time are you going live, Trey?
In about 20 minutes here.
I'm gonna tap in then, bro. I'm gonna still
make
a little
sure
early, man. I'm gonna tap in.
Check out Trey, man. Make sure y'all stop by there and put your link in the chat. Everybody, listen. Thank you again. You were in the lab with the real Greg Kelly. You were with Free from Feathers. You was with the Conservative Bear and Trey the MBD. I love y'all. Y'all know it. Stay American, baby. Taylor, Brooke, Free from Feathers in the house. Joanne, Nick, everybody that was in this room, man. Listen, we love you. We love you for real. We ain't talking about loving you, then going around sowing discord everywhere. Hey, we do this for real. This is real patriotism. This is real America. And we love you, man, for real. Again, hey, Joey. Hey, bro. We gonna do this again real soon, man.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. All right. I love you, man.
All right, I'm out, y'all. We out of here. Y'all know what to do. Ride out to the music. RGKS. We out, baby. America. And you know it. Peace.